Okey-doke.
Sports fans, welcome to the Shop Report. I'm Barbershop Jay. I'll be your host for the day. Here's what's happening. Unfortunately, I just caught a brief moment of technical difficulty there. Somehow or another, I'm using Spreaker.com, and the wheel was spinning like it's buffering or something. But anyway, nonetheless, we are here. Joining me on the show today for right now is my man from up north, Joey James, a.k.a. Double J, with hopefully Brother Richard and D. Gully soon to join us. We are discussing today the 2019 NBA Draft, which is set to start Thursday at 7 p.m. I repeat, this Thursday, the 20th at 7 p.m. Double J, tell the people what you say. I didn't get to that part of the introduction, unfortunately, because we are live, and we don't always go live, so sometimes it's impromptu is what you got to do. But tell the people what you say right quick, Double J, so I can continue.
I'm ready for the NBA. Start looking forward to tomorrow.
Oh wow, you breaking up a little bit there. All right, are you a little bit away from the phone or whatnot?
Yeah.
Yeah, I need you to get a little closer to the phone. That was just a little bit better, but as they say in this business, the show must go on. Before we get to diving into today's topic, as I said, the 2019 NBA Draft, we're also going to discuss briefly player development in the NBA. But before we do that, of course, I want to give out the call-in number. If you're up and around, you're out and about, and you want to give us a shout, that number to call is area code 267-687-0026. Once again, that number is area code 267-687-0026. We also have a YouTube channel, as I mentioned when we get towards the end of our broadcast ordinarily or any other time. And I'm checking the YouTube channel the other day, and I see that we had a comment. And we had a comment from a person in Canada, nonetheless. So let's talk about this player development, because when I read this person's comment, by the way, ELC, E as in egg, L as in Larry, C as in cat. I don't know if it's a he or she because they go by that acronym or whatnot. But their comment was not only detailed, but very, very interesting. This is why I want to touch back on the whole AD to the Lakers thing somewhat. Because this person, again, I don't know if they're from, they didn't indicate whether they're from Toronto or Manitoba or Saskatchewan. I don't know. But they did leave a comment. And I want to read to you the comment that this person left. I think it's very, very interesting. Double J, you ready for this? No?
Okay.
No? Say something again. What is going on, I wonder? Say something else. Oh, wow.
Wonderful.
Okay, that's a little bit better. I don't know what's going on, man. You breaking up real bad. Real bad. Real bad. All right, let's keep going here. Yeah, let me read these comments to you. And this, again, is from ELC Gmail. That's what the tagline or the person's moniker is or whatnot. They write, and shout out to ELC too for, checking out our YouTube channel and being a follower too, actually. So I appreciate that. We appreciate that. There are a lot of delusional or clueless Lakers fans out there. The whole organization is a soap opera and a mess from ownership on down. You with me, Double J? So,
I'm eating the stuff. I apologize if you're hearing me eating the popcorn.
Yeah, you sound kind of choppy still, man, and I don't know why, because I got everything set here on my end. Unless you're like in a bad area or something or another, or maybe taking the phone away from your chin or whatnot. But anyway, he says to me, or she says, you're absolutely right about the trade too, because of course we did a program a couple days ago on the whole AD going to the Lakers or whatnot. You're absolutely right about the trade, too. They traded away their future for a guy, like you said, is one hangnail away, laugh out loud. This is going to be a mess, and there's no guarantee AD won't hate it and leave after a year. You think that's possible, Double J?
Without a doubt.
And why do you say?
Well, for two reasons. You get two sides of the spectrum. If you look at when Dwight Howard joined Kobe Bryant, they were both the same age, meaning Anthony Davis and LeBron James matched. However, you get the Kobe fans. That's why I wish Brother Rich was with us right now, because I would like to see his.
Yeah. You know what?
And,
you know what, man? I'm gonna need you to maybe I don't know, put the phone closer or something, because I don't know why it's doing that, but you're sounding real choppy. I thought we had taken care of that, man. This is really, really not good, especially if we live here. So maybe put the phone a little closer or whatnot. And maybe it might yeah, you're still chopping up. You're still chopping up there a little bit there. I don't know. All right, I'm going to continue to read. I don't know. You maybe can adjust some settings or something on your phone. I don't know. We usually don't have this issue. Now that we separated the Skype deal, I really couldn't tell you what's going on. But maybe it's because I got a few things open here. But, yeah, I wanted to get your take, you know, if you thought AD would leave after a year, because I thought that was rather interesting for this person to say that. But I'll continue on. He's only said he will resign and things can change fast. So, in other words, this person is saying talk is cheap, because that seems to be the going thing now in the NBA nowadays, in sports in general. You know, everybody's saying this or what that, you know, and got folks and fans believing that this may be and that may not be the case, so to speak. And then all of a sudden, like in the case of Paul George, well, he never really said anything, but he ended up staying at OKC. So I get where I get what they're saying here. Things can change, you know. He said, I'm glad I'm a Raps fan. Built, not bought. Hello. With one undrafted starter and not one top 10 pick, a key player. It took us forever, but we got it now. And this longtime Raps fan, says thank you for finally speaking out about all the pathetic disrespect my Raps get from the national pundits and, to be honest, the majority of American fans. We are used to the team being ignored and or disrespected, and it's crappy. We don't get any deserved credit. Worst thing this time is the insults being hurled at the team. And let me stop right there. I, too, thought that was somewhat disrespectful, you know, to hear fans here in America somewhat. I mean, you know, and we talked about that, too, last week on the show, is that, you know, you turn on the national shows, and the first thing that they're discussing is what happened to the Warriors, or why didn't the Warriors do what they should have done, or whatever the case may be. And I'm saying, with all due respect to the Warriors, they lost. How do you start a talk show and not first give credit to the victors? I have no idea. So at the end of the day, he says, you know, we're used to the team being ignored and, of course, disrespected. And he said, it's, you know, crappy that they don't get any deserved credit. And the insults, again, that are being hurled at the team, us fans, and my whole country. I have to admit, it was really heartbreaking to see how the USA's closest ally and the country that invented basketball, and I'm presuming here he's saying Canada. Now, if that's the case, that I did not know. Where the first NBA game was played, I'm presuming that's Canada as well, is treated and thought of now. Makes me both sad and furious how ignorant and clueless people can be. Couldn't disagree with you there. You should surf around and check out some of the comments. I don't know if I want to, because I've seen more than enough. He said, I think you will be shocked. Not really. It's gone beyond jealousy over a sport into a very dark place, so I really appreciate you speaking out. Enjoyed your podcast and subscribe to hear more actual reality being discussed. And then he lastly says, you should also discuss the sheriff who lied about the Raps GM hitting him immediately after the win, and in parentheses, with his court credentials clearly in his hand, and how they are actually charging Masai Ujiri with assault, because that's really something. Thank you again. So, Double J, I hope we can hear you now. Did you get all of that?
I did.
That's much better. I don't know what the heck happened here, but yeah, that's much better. So now, go ahead and, if you would, weigh in on what you'd like to weigh in on. Oh, but you know what, though? Nope, before you do. Sorry about that. So one more thing I wanted to add. And this is what I meant by, and I'm asking this question in regards to player development. Kawhi Leonard was a 15th pick. Pascal Siakam, 27th. Kyle Lowry, 24th. Marc Gasol, 48th. And Fred VanVleet, undrafted. Just led a championship team in scoring. I'm reading this from a Facebook post that was sent to me. And it says the person did. If that's not proof player development is more important than where you pick, then I don't know what is. So now we finally get to this whole player development thing. What the Lakers did in basically giving up the farm, because there's some people now trying to downplay what Lonzo might be, what Ingram can't be, because due to this health issue with the blood clot and all, as if though to suggest or imply, like, you know, the Lakers didn't give up nothing. But my question again, this whole thing with player development, well, I mean, what is the value of a pick nowadays? So we value picks when it comes to Zion and things of that nature, but not when it comes to Ingram and Ball? Because if I'm not mistaken, Double J, weren't they both number 2 picks in the draft the years they came out? Ingram and Ball?
That's correct. They both were number 2 picks.
Okay, so what's up with player development? Is that now poo-poo, so to speak? Because of what the Lakers did?
Well,
I mean, I get it in theory, this win now deal, but still, you know, do you mortgage your whole future? Go ahead, I'm sorry.
No, you're right. But again, the Lakers were backed into a wall because LeBron James doesn't, like you've stated on numerous occasions, Father Time is undefeated. And it's because of that, they had 2 choices, either to move him, to give him an opportunity to pursue what he's looking for, which is another championship ring, and continue to develop the group that they had. Again, they had the picks there. You've seen it. Or to go the, New York Yankees route, or, the traditional baseball major markets route, which is to sell the farm and try to buy your way in.
Okay, so then you are in agreement with what the Lakers did and how they did it. They needed to do it, is what you're saying or suggesting.
It was either move LeBron James or do exactly what they just did. They were limited to those 2 choices. If they were to remain stagnant and stay with that same group that they had, we saw the result. Sure, they might have snuck into the 8th spot, but they weren't getting any better.
Yeah, okay. I got you. They weren't getting any better. All right, so they had to unload the farm. All right, so right quick, even though we all already have had this discussion somewhat, but what happens now? And there's no regard on the Lakers' behalf for the future at all. So what happens now?
Well, again, it is championship or bust. They have a 3-year window.
You think it's 3 years with Father Time being undefeated? Because at the end of the day,
I do, because the only rationale that I have is LeBron James being humble enough to take himself out. We know he and his team, not meaning his actual basketball team, we're talking Rich Paul and those guys, are fully influential enough that if he needs to be a 6th man, he'll do it. And he has the ability to restructure. The guy owns 4% of Liverpool. He's got enough money. But, again, if they bring in a couple other free agents that, like we anticipate them to, if it comes down to a financial decision, he will be the first one to step up front if he believes that that's what's going to keep him or prevent them from really, being the Lord of the Rings, if you will.
Okay, so knowing full well that a leopard, I think it's a leopard that they say, doesn't change his spots, so to speak, you really think that this guy is going to allow for his ego to take a back seat?
Well, again, he's only displayed this ego for the most part behind closed doors. You can argue the point of the decision as an ego move, but beyond that, there hasn't been anything for us on display to suggest that he's arrogant.
You don't think so, man? Are you serious? You are you really telling me, Double J? Are you sitting here saying to me that this guy has not shown narcissism? That there's no timeline for his narcissism? Because ego,
Well,
narcissism. They're synonymous if they're not one and the same, to some degree. Yay, nay, maybe.
I haven't seen it. You being in Cleveland, I think you're looking at it. Your lens might need to get cleaned off a little bit, because it may already have some words written on it regarding him.
Oh, well, I won't deny that. About as much as, if not more, I won't deny that the guy's got talent. But to say that or suggest that we've not seen any bits of bouts of ego before.
Well,
just think of the whole Dan Gilbert and the whole Dan Gilbert situation. Because I personally believe that.
But again, that was too many chefs in the kitchen. Because you had the general manager, you had Dan Gilbert, the owner, and then you had LeBron, who was essentially the playing, the Jackie Moon.
Yeah, right. But wait a minute, you mentioned a little
bit of a different situation.
Yeah, but you mentioned the GM at the time was David Griffin. And, even though he was on the team, he wasn't being communicated with or to, because you see how long, and I put this squarely on Gilbert's shoulders. You see how long it took before they even addressed. I don't even think they addressed his contract situation. Like most people, and you know how these media outlets now, they get a hold of something. They'd be the first ones to know whose contract is being discussed and at what point, especially when come to the players. You know what I mean? They say, I don't know, pick a player's name. This player and the Hornets are start negotiations Monday. And that'd be a week later that, or a week before, or however you want to put it. So we find out early enough, when, whose contract is coming up or whose contract needs to be discussed. It was like a mention or two here or there, like, yeah, David Griffin is due some sort of contract situation or whatever. And then I didn't hear nothing else about it until it got to the end, where it was like the Cavs are not offering David Griffin a redo. Or I don't know, what you call it at that point? A re-up on a contract? I don't know what you call it. Some word or term for it. But I was like, wow. They ain't even.
They're not going to give offer extension.
Yeah, an extension. I'm sorry. Yeah, all right. Senility. Here we go again. Yeah. So I'm like, wow, they didn't even sit down and talk to the guy. But again, I think that was Gilbert. We know Gilbert has an ego. We know that. But I think that whole deal between him and LeBron, man, was sort of I don't know. This just didn't sit right. I said it. To date, David Griffin is the Cavs' biggest loss, I believe. But at the end of the day, that's neither here nor there. We'll, of course, like we said the other day, we'll see how this thing plays out with the Lakers. But as far as his ego and his narcissism, my goodness, and especially in Cleveland, we don't play that you rooting for other teams, or I don't care who you are. And none of the other players that I recall growing up watching here ever did anything like that. And I'm not holding it to the guy, but it did happen. When the Cowboys came here and played the Browns, that guy was a Cowboys fan. He was on the sidelines of the Browns game kicking it. And I ain't saying he had to be kicking it with Joe Hayden at the time, but my goodness. You know what I mean? So outward and outlandish with your demonstrativeness. You're kicking it with Terrell Owens, but the Browns are playing. And then you're sitting at the Indians and Yankees game with the Yankees hat on. My goodness. Come on, man. And just for sake of comparison, my man over on the other side, down there over the First Energy, OBJ, the one that they keep trying to make a story out of every day, he went and did his Rolls Royce in brown and orange right out the gate. Okay, you know what I mean? The Panthers might be his favorite team. I'm just kidding. But you don't see him wear no outfit or outfitted in no gear. But anywho, I don't know. But the ELC, we appreciate your comment or whatnot. But I still say, man, you cannot circumvent player development. Now, I get it. Again, the Lakers' ideas to win now and all that good stuff. But, man, you got to and I don't know if you saw it, but I saw a post about how many trades have gone down involving LeBron, or when LeBron was with a team or whatever. How many was it? Too many to count? I just don't. Yeah, I just don't get this whole idea of getting. What you say that again? I'm sorry.
I was just adding to your point that it was substantial. It actually was, I believe, accounted for almost 60% of the entire league's move.
Yeah, see, that's unbelievable. That's unbelievable, man. I mean, I just don't get how you can you just get rid of. I mean, again, what's the value of a pick now? You're just getting rid of people and getting rid of people and getting rid of people, and then to bring in what? You know, these tired. I get the whole idea of a veteran, but just because you played in the league a long time, I mean, you know, I'm not gonna mention no names, but you can go slide back over to the NFL. We look at guys who quarterback, especially at the quarterback position, guys who've been in the league for however long, 12, 10, 12, 13 years. But you really wouldn't look at them as like, yeah, that guy will make a difference. They're just backups because the teams need backups. You know what I'm saying? Not effective veterans, so to speak. So, you know, are you a veteran for the sake of being a veteran, or are you a veteran that's going to make a difference? You know what I mean? How many of them veterans that, you know, in Miami outside of Wade and Bosh or whatnot, and Ray Allen, of course, you know what I mean, really, really, really had an impact on that Heat championship run? Yeah, exactly.
What do you mean? You had
or Haslam.
1 year you had.
Yeah, you had Haslam. I guess. I don't know. I just don't. I'm just not down with giving up the whole. You know,
What about Birdman?
Oh, really? Are you serious? The guy who really should open, who should have. I don't know what he's doing now, but if he's smart, he would have opened up his own tattoo parlor. Oh my gosh. Yeah, the guy he looked like a boxer. He's what?
He's with Ice Cube in the Big Three now.
Yeah, The guy should have opened up his own Crayola store or factory. That number, again, if you want to reach out to us, let us know what you think. So far, we are discussing player development when it comes to the NBA. Area code 267-687-0026. That number again to call is area code 267-687-0026. Yeah, so, he's in the Big Three. All right, and that's coming up, too, here soon, I believe, right? In Detroit, you all having one? In Chicago, I believe?
That's correct, yeah, we kicked off here.
Say that again?
Yep, it kicks off opening week is here in Detroit.
Oh, wow. Are you excited for that?
You know, I have mixed emotions about it because, again, you're talking about guys that are outside of their prime. Otherwise, potentially would be on the Lakers. Maybe that's what they're trying out for, you could say. Huh?
No. That's not going to be. I mean, don't forget now, the Lakers tried that once already, you know, with Karl Malone and Gary Payton. Did Payton win a ring with them?
No, he fell short.
Oh, wow, yeah. Did Karl Malone win a ring with the Lakers?
No.
Oh, yeah, well, yeah.
You could blame the 2004 Pistons for that.
No, that's no blame. The Pistons took care of business. I'm not in the blame. You know, first off, I'm an underdog. Okay, I root for the underdog, regardless. Sorry. I come from poor stock, so I'm always roll with the underdog, first and foremost. But don't blame the Pistons for taking care of business. Huh? Because, I mean, my goodness, did not Ben Wallace shine in them finals?
I tell you what, he sure did.
Yes, he sure did.
For those that question his abilities, even bleeding into that series, because he was so offensively handicapped, it became it's a 5-on-4 when they're, in possession of the ball. And they assumed that the Lakers were going to be able to take advantage of that, and how much of an impact would he really have defensively going against Shaq and Karl Malone? Two Hall of Famers.
Yeah.
He any naysayer that was out there or anyone sitting on that fence, they all became fans of his by the end of that series.
Well, I wasn't a naysayer because he had a stop here in Cleveland. That's been some time ago now, but he went to one of our local community colleges, the Tri-C. Cuyahoga Community College, he did for a minute, and before he slid over to Virginia Union. Charles Oakley had a lot to do with Ben being here and going to Virginia Union, and then, of course, making his way to the NBA. What'd you say?
I actually didn't. Maybe off air at some point, or even now. By all means, I'd love to hear that. Yeah.
He went to Virginia Union. You talking about Ben Wallace?
Yeah, this is the first, even with some of the documentaries that have taken place, everyone was aware he came from Virginia Union. Everybody knew about his stint in Orlando.
Right.
But nobody, to my knowledge, ever mentioned Charles Oakley and his time in Ohio.
Yes, indeed. That's a little known fact, so to speak. But, people don't dig for research or information anymore. They Google it. Google, it's great. No, don't get me wrong, but it's got so many choices. They give you 1,000 links. Now you got to figure out which link to click on, right? Yeah, right. But, yeah, he did. He had a stint here at Tri-C, Cuyahoga Community College. And they got a pretty darn good basketball team, by the way. Guys are pretty good. And the tickets are not expensive. Go out there and see a little JUCO action. You know what I mean? If you're ever in Cleveland, by the way, just come on down to Tri-C. Our winters are very chilly, I will say that. But, once you get inside, it's hot because the hoop is hot, son. I'm trying to tell you, the hoop is hot. So at the end of the day, man, we'll see how this Lakers thing, like we said the other day, we'll see how it all turns out. I'm just, giving up the farm. Do you think that the Pelicans, with their additions, because the Pelicans, we can ready to talk about the draft here, of course, but the Pelicans, man, they sitting in the driver's seat. You think?
Without a doubt. Again, they can of course pick two of the top five, which is everyone's dream. But additionally, they have the ability to unload one of those picks. And it won't be the number one. And that would be a shocker of all shockers. Again, you're very familiar with how David Griffin works. But hypothetically, if they were to move that Lakers pick and say, look, we're not going to win this year anyway, and so if we can get two additional first-round picks going into next year, so they would end up somewhere in the neighborhood of 3 to 4 picks going into the 2020 draft. Again, the projections thus far haven't indicated that it's going to be a very deep one, to our knowledge, but they have, again, they're very much, to your point, in the driver's seat.
Yes, they are in the driver's seat. All right, let's get to some of this NBA draft action. Once again, the NBA draft is this Thursday. That is June the 20th at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. That's right, the 2019 NBA draft is upon us. Man, time sure flies when you might-a-size, right? When you're having fun, right? Yeah, I think so.
Without a doubt. I want to point out here, Jack Thayer from Yahoo Sports is reporting that as of 27 minutes ago, that the Pelicans are considering flipping the number 4 pick for additional picks. So my realm of thinking of understanding David Griffin apparently is in sync.
Yeah, that guy's crafty. I won't say he's because there's a couple of teams in the league, I don't even know who their GMs are. And that's a good thing, to tell you the truth. So I couldn't even compare him to them. But if you look at the league's, NBA's top GM, if we were ranking him or whatever it is, he's in the top 5. I guarantee you that. He might not make the blockbuster move, but the guy can make moves to put your franchise together real quick, man, and have you looking like something. Because I still say the idea when building a team is to try and build for today and tomorrow. Would you agree with that? I mean, you don't have to now. If you don't,
Absolutely.
You don't. Okay. So
no, I'm 100% on board with that.
Okay, right. Okay, so can Griffin, in your estimation, do just that?
Yeah, and again, that Lakers pick, that top 5 pick, that number 4 specifically, is the key to that vault. Because you have teams like the Atlanta Hawks, you have teams like the Minnesota Timberwolves and the Boston Celtics, who also have a handful of picks who are trying to move up. You look at Boston. We talked about this earlier off air with Kyrie and him, quote-unquote, ghosting the franchise How would you feel if Boston offered Kyrie Irving to the New Orleans Pelicans for that number 4 pick and potentially a 2020 pick, a first-round pick to the Pelicans? Is that not today and tomorrow?
Yeah, you ain't lying. Yeah, but you know what, though? But see, then now, Anthony Davis, let's say that happens, Anthony Davis with the Celtics, right?
Well, no. He of course, would still be in L.A. I'm saying Kyrie would be in New Orleans. But again, at this point.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, but the point I was driving at still applies, I think. My bad, I misheard you. You get a player going wherever they're going via trade, of course. I mean, you don't want to get a disgruntled player, do you? And let's just say in the case of Kyrie.
Is that how you would class Kyrie right now?
Man, with that guy, and I respect this game, man, but here these last couple of years, man, the earth is flat. The ceiling is the roof. You know what I mean? You just don't, I mean, that dude like a box of chocolates, man, and I'm not even talking about the Forrest Gump kind. You know what I mean? You just don't know what you're going to get. I don't know. You don't think so?
I think Kyrie is LeBron Jr. He's the junior whopper, and he shares a lot of the very similar characteristics. He first put that on display in Cleveland, not with the dispute with LeBron, but before LeBron when they were losing. You may remember that coming out in the papers about his unhappiness and his desire to go elsewhere. However, if you surround him with a cast like he had in New Orleans, assuming that Zion is their number 1 pick, I believe that is an opportunity for him to feast. That is taking the large man to the buffet line. And it would be, I would be on Bourbon Street. I'm telling you that right now.
Okay, so now what are the title chances if that should happen, or were that to happen, in your estimation?
Well, year one, I don't think it would change. It would increase, but it would still be above 10. So it would still be above 10-1, probably 14-1, just simply because they are, unfortunately, still in the Western Conference.
Yeah.
However, again, you talk about the potential with that trade here. And again, I would be the first to openly acknowledge that this would be an opportunity for Kyrie to end up there. But if they were to get Boston's pick next year, I actually think Boston would still make the playoffs in the East this year by acquiring the number 4 pick. But, and that just is simply just a reflection of the current state of the Eastern Conference. But again, you talked about today and tomorrow. Tomorrow would be, it would be like going back to childhood, knowing you're going to Cedar Point the next morning or you're going to Kalahari and you're giddier than a schoolgirl. Yeah.
That's nice. Well, yeah, that was a good one. Yeah, I'll give you credit for that. Well, I don't know, man, because from my understanding, I read somewhere where David Griffin is doing what he can to maneuver that 4th pick, and I'm from what I read, it's to Atlanta for the 8th and the number 8 and the number 10 picks. Did you read that?
That's a potential too. That is, yeah, I sure did.
Yeah.
And again, you're talking about the 8th and the 10th. So again, once you're beyond 5, once you move past 5, the guaranteed money drops. And at that point, again, you still have the ability. This is what every great general manager does, and every joystick general manager does, the good ones. They control the card. When you control those picks, you can let one go to get 2. Let one go today, and you'll get 2 tomorrow, which is just good business. And at that point, or they could go all in. and at that point, you cannot fault them necessarily, because if you're looking at a guy who has, potentially Darius Garland, who does not warrant being a number 4 pick.
Yeah, I thought that was odd.
Make the case.
Go ahead, you can finish.
Yeah, so again, you look at him and you say, okay, I can respect him being taken at the 8 or the 10 spot, if that were the case. Potentially, it also depends if it is just a straight swap of kicks, because Atlanta may say, we're looking to move, and this wouldn't be the first time that they've already thrown this out there. They're looking to move the gentleman from Oklahoma.
Who? They're looking to move who?
From last year?
Yeah.
It was Luka Doncic, of course, but Trae Young.
Oh, yeah. Well, yeah.
So how do you feel about that? You look at a lineup now. Again, they would be contrasting to select a shooting guard from like Garland.
Yeah.
If you just acquired Trae Young.
Yeah. Yeah, that's I don't know. Do you see Garland? I don't see who's projecting him as a number 4. I don't see that.
Well, that's just it. Nobody's projecting him at 4, but it's just their number 4 pick in general is very much the wild card. They can go so many different directions with it, and they've shown a large amount of interest in this guy who, again, if you had to define him or say his game is similar to it, he would be the great value Damian Lillard at this point, who when he was picked by Portland, there were a lot of mixed feelings. All we knew at that point in time is that boy could shoot, but could he do all the other things? And we've watched him grow and develop into the player that he is today. But there were a lot of unknowns on draft night.
Oh yeah, all right, that's fair. Before you go any farther, I'd like to introduce our other co-host, my man from the NYC, a.k.a. Rucker Park, Brother Rich. Brother Rich, what's going on, man? Glad you could join us.
I'm absolutely happy to be here. I had to rush out of the office, but because of time change, I had a little problem this morning but nevertheless, we're happy to be here. As always, honored to be on with you all.
Yeah, we started the show off discussing player development in the NBA because we mentioned, I read a comment from a YouTube follower we have from Canada, and we revisited the whole finals thing, so to speak, in the Anthony Davis Laker move or whatnot, and basically this person from Canada, was saying how they were appalled at how the USA is responding or reacting to the fact that the Raptors won the title or whatnot. Then I mentioned where Kawhi was picked, where Kyle Lowry was picked, and Gasol, and of course VanVleet not being drafted at all. The question was about player development. What the Lakers did they just poo-poo on player development, or is player development still necessary even in the today BA?
Well, I don't think that the Lakers can afford player development. Player development is about whether or not you can afford it. The Raptors could have afforded player development. I think New Orleans can afford player development. LA can afford player development. And so the question becomes, has a team like the Knicks, for instance, prided themselves when they should have been focused on player development? So player development is absolutely necessary, but player development, I think, in today BA, as you so often refer to it, is based on market and based on, for instance, any team that LeBron goes to can't afford player development. Right now, Kevin Durant can't go to a team that has time for quote-unquote player development because we know that they're in the prime of their careers. LeBron certainly is on the downward trajectory in terms of his own career. So player development works for a team like Toronto. It will work for a team perhaps like New Orleans, but I don't know if it works as well for a team like the Lakers.
That's an interesting point. I'm just, again, curious as to, so anywhere and everywhere this guy goes or guys like him go, You got to get rid. You got to gut the franchise, so to speak, first.
Yes, that's absolutely correct.
Oh,
and again,
this
is my LeBron defense, and I say this about LeBron all the time. You cannot take a young man, put him on the cover of Sports Illustrated at 17 years old, crown him, anoint him king,
and expect him to be involved in player development.
And expected to you can't do that, and then you can't say you literally make him a savior of a hometown. Where you and I know that people were referring to LeBron James during his tenure in Cleveland in messianic terminology. People were literally using messianic terminologies and talking about him in those kinds of terminology. Let's be honest. The kind of weight that you put on a shoulder like that, and now you have a career where my career is on the downward trajectory. I'm in L.A. of all the markets. Everybody's looking at me. The world is looking at me. And now people, all my critics and all, are trying to say I'm going to fail. So I don't have time for player development. Now, this is my knock against last season. And I told you this, and you know I said this to you on and off here. My knock against last season with the Los Angeles Lakers was that I believe we had a team that had player development. And LeBron comes in, and I thought there was enough there. There are people that feel there was enough there for him to lead that team, perhaps.
That's really my whole question. That's my whole question about at
we
what
believe
point.
That. Yes, we
at what
believe
point
that.
are you going to take whatever was there and make something out of nothing? If you're the grandest chef in the world.
Well, because again, I don't think that here we are. You know, I said to someone just this morning, everyone wants to be hype about AD. And I'm saying I'm a Laker fan, but I'm not a fool.
Hold on,
I don't necessarily think it's the.
Hold on, Brother Rich. Hold on. Because you got a soliloquy. You and I talked about this the other day. So before you start this, I just want to let everybody out there know. Let me first give you the call-in number again. If you're up and around, you're out and about, and you want to give us a shout, that number to call is area code 267-687-0026. Once again, the number is area code 267-687-0026. And in addition to that, I'm just letting y'all know y'all need to buckle y'all seatbelts because Brother Richard is getting ready to go on a rant, and it ain't nothing pretty. Do your thing, bro, Rich.
Well, again, we spoke about this on and off air, and I am, while I'm a Laker fan, I love the Lakers. I've been a Laker fan all my basketball loving and watching life. Nevertheless, as a fan, I don't believe that being a fan means I have to agree with everything my team does. And in this instance, I don't know that this is going to turn out to be the best move that we've ever made. In that, if we were pairing Anthony Davis with a LeBron James that was perhaps 4 or 5 years, maybe even 2 years younger, I and many Laker fans who are basketball fans would be very thrilled and enthusiastic about this. But we've literally given up every chip we have currently, every chip we can hold in the future, for 5, 6 years to come. We've given up and mortgaged our future to say we're going to pair Anthony Davis and LeBron James, an aging 16th, 17th season LeBron James, 35-year-old LeBron James, coming off an injury season LeBron James with Anthony Davis, and say just throw anybody else on the court. I don't understand how we believe that works in the era where the Golden State Warriors have shown us teamwork makes the dream work. And when in the absence of their team failing them, their team chemistry falling apart due to injuries and age and all the atrophy of having experienced what they've experienced on all these final runs, now we have Toronto coming in as a team. You are among the people that was telling us about Toronto early on about their team chemistry, their ability, their potential, with Kawhi in the mix. So we're saying that we're going to just absent all of that and jump on the ESPN headlines and bandwagon. And because ESPN and Fox and whoever else believes that now the Lakers are back, we're back. I don't see that as a fan. I'm sorry. And I'm a Laker fan. I'm a Laker fan through and through. I'm a Kobe fan first and foremost. All deference to the GOAT himself, Michael Jordan. But I am first and foremost a Kobe Bryant fan in terms of basketball players. And I have tremendous respect for LeBron James. I do not agree that the Lakers should have mortgaged the franchise for this one move. I don't agree with that. I think it was a terrible basketball move.
Well said, Brother Rich. So, in other words, you're putting an oft-injured superstar with an aging superstar. That's like a Molotov cocktail,
Absolute
some would say.
fact.
Yeah, some would say. I mean, I had some people at the job basically the other day saying, downplaying what the Lakers gave up as if to say, well, Ball wasn't all that, and Ingram got that blood clot, a health ailment, so to speak. So, and the Lakers didn't really give up nothing. I was like, yeah, well, that don't mean that it's going to work on the other side either. You know what I mean? But it's unfortunate, man, because a lot of the people. Go ahead.
And retort to that, Jay, I would only say this: the Lakers, we didn't give up anything. If AD and LeBron are going to play all 48 minutes of 82 games, like I just said to someone, are they going to play all 42 minutes of 82 games? If that's the scenario, we didn't give up anything. But if you're telling me that in the modern NBA, 2 beats 5. I don't see that equation. I don't believe that in the modern NBA, 2 beats 5. I don't believe that.
Yeah. Double J, you agree with Brother Rich?
I totally agree. I wanted to ask him his point of view on this particular pairing, because if he is a Kobe fan, and I'm not to say that I'm not, but
no, Brother Rich is a real Kobe fan. He's a real Kobe fan.
Correct.
Yeah.
Exactly. And so Kobe was paired with Dwight Howard, no different than LeBron is with AD, and they were both respectively the same ages. How would you analyze this group versus that group? And who would you say was of course, we know the outcome of how that played out with Dwight Howard, but they did have, to some degree, some success. So I want to see who has the higher ceiling.
That's a good question, brother. That's a good question.
But I can answer that right away. AD and LeBron have the higher ceiling. I was never a Dwight Howard fan in terms of I never thought Dwight Howard took basketball seriously enough, and it was proven true when he came to LA. Nevertheless, here's my issue with AD and LeBron, and this is what I think I'm gonna go here, Jay. I'm gonna go here, Double J.
Okay.
I'm gonna describe it like this: LeBron is that most beautiful, pretty woman that you see from a distance, that portends to be everything that you could imagine she would be until you get her. And then you find out that living with her, the challenges of having a woman that beautiful, the attention she's going to command, the attention she's going to get, the unwanted problems and situations that come along with being in a situation like that are problematic for many, many other players. And so here is Anthony Davis leaving the market of New Orleans, where he was a major fish in a very small tank. Now, what kind of ego development will we be dealing with, and who will be managing these egos when now Anthony Davis decides at some point in this relationship, you know what, I want to be my own man, and I'm out here on my own now. And obviously we all know, everyone knows, that he's the future and LeBron is already the fading past.
Right.
And depending now on what happens with the New Orleans Pelicans, who I believe will be very sneaky dangerous this year, if their record just, remember we said it today, Jay, keep the record. If their record just so happens to be better or even with the Los Angeles Lakers next year, who will be to blame, and what will happen in that locker room? Who will LeBron get rid of next? Who will he trade next? Who can be blamed next? And is AD ready to share that kind of blame, shoulder that kind of weight?
Yeah, hey, listen, you took the words right out of my mouth. That was where I was going next with it. At the end of the day, I understand the sentiment behind why folks, especially Laker fans, why they excited, the name. I get it, but you always got to flip the coin over and ask yourself, because it's some blame coming with that. Somebody got to sacrifice their game. Huh?
Well, there's 2 points I want to make here. And again, you guys just touched on a little bit regarding sacrifices and egos. And it sounds very reminiscent of LeBron's stint in Miami, where, again, Dwayne Wade took the back seat. But
voluntarily, I might add.
Who was willing to take the back seat.
Wade took a back seat voluntarily, because when they came in the room, when they came in the classroom, they was like, who's willing to defer to this guy over here? Okay, don't everybody raise their hand at once. And Wade raised his hand, so to speak. Okay? Because the NBA ego is a big deal. But go ahead.
Absolutely. And speaking of egos, it's Anthony Davis, and just playing off what Brother Rich pointed out, sounds very similar to a young Kyrie Irving.
Oh, okay.
That's exactly what you have.
Okay.
That's exactly what you have. Exactly what you have.
Okay.
Now, remember, by Shaquille O'Neal's own voice, he said it out of his mouth. The issue with him and Kobe was, now you had Phil Jackson, one of the best managers of egos in the modern era that we can point to. He could not manage the egos of Shaquille O'Neal and Kobe Bryant, a young budding superstar with an aged, at that time, Shaq, we didn't know it, but Jerry West knew. Shaq was already aged at that time. They saw his practice habits. Everybody knew that he was not physically taking care of himself and that he would age out of the league faster as a big man. Now, you have an aging superstar and a young 20, they say he's 25, 26-year-old, budding, rising. Before he got hurt a few years ago, people were talking about him as being the best player in the NBA. So now, okay, you got me out here. I appreciate it. That's wonderful. But on the court, when I'm producing and maybe you're producing, according to what Kyrie Irving tells us, and we see it in manifest reality that no real superstar of his peer group or that generation wants to come play with him. He gets Anthony Davis because Anthony Davis is a clutch client and he wants to come out and they convince him to come. How will it be and how long will the honeymoon last? And if at midseason the Lakers are not even 500, again I ask you, who gets the blame for that?
You know what? I'm going to try to see if I can get y'all. I mean, we're going to definitely keep going here, but I'm going to see if I can get my man Mo in on this, Mo Sports, because he has some stuff. He had a pretty good question because, I asked you all to, present a question. We can ready to get to the other aspects of this whole 2019 NBA draft. I'm going to see if I can get Mo in. But right quick, while I'm trying to get Mo in here, let me throw this at you. We all know to a man that this upcoming draft, Zion is going number one. We all agree on that, right?
I agree.
Okay.
Agreed.
Who's going number two? Not to where or to which team, but the player himself. Who's the number two pick in the 2019 NBA draft? Brother Rich?
Ja Morant.
Whoa, you said that with no hesitation. Double J?
Well, I'm actually going to give a little bit more thought to that. I think there's, without a doubt, he can go at that position, but I'm not certain that he will. I could make a case for one of the additional Duke players. There's rumors, of course, that Cam Reddish could end up at number 5 or to your Cavs. But there's also the potential that he follows suit and goes number 2.
Yes, because in that...
Whoever passes on Ja Morant is passing on the Michael Jordan of the draft.
Oh, my goodness. I knew somebody was going to jump out the plane 50,000 feet with no parachute. Hold that thought,
Brother
Rich.
I'm going to say this again for everybody to listen to.
Okay.
Whoever passes on Ja Morant is passing on the best basketball player. The best. As far as basketball is concerned,
okay.
They're passing on that Michael Jordan-type talent in terms of that young man.
Okay,
yes.
Okay, hold
yes,
on.
That Kobe Bryant, Michael Jordan, that kind of player. That's what they're passing on.
Okay.
They pass on him.
Brother Rich, do
okay.
you feel that he's going to fit with Sacramento?
Not necessarily, but I got to take him because I don't want to be that team that ends up in a rap song for passing on Michael Jordan and choosing Sam Bowie. I don't want to be Sam Bowie.
Okay, hold that
I
thought.
don't want to be Portland.
Hold that thought. We got to bring somebody else in on here. We got my man Mo Sports. Mo, you there? Mo. This guy here. Mo, are you there? Hello? All right, maybe not. But Double J, to your point, you were saying him going to Sacramento. Is that what you're saying? Ja Morant to Sacramento? Did I hear that right?
He would. My concern was, again, you're talking about, point guard. By default or definition, he's classed as a point guard. Would they be better off going with R.J. Barrett?
But I would totally agree with you on that. Except this. Again, the question becomes, if you pass on John Morant, and see, there's another guy. He's not even my sleeper. My sleeper, we're not there yet. I think that whoever passes on my sleeper is going to have a problem too. But if you pass on John Morant, you're passing on probably the purest basketball player in terms of his natural, raw, gifted basketball ability. So if you're looking at him in terms of a basketball player, can you pass on that talent? And I'm not knocking any of the Duke players. They're all going to be nice. I'm not knocking any of them. I actually want to see one of them in New York with the Knicks. But nevertheless, I believe that if you pass on John Morant, you're passing on just a pure basketball player. And we look at him as like just pure. You look at that guy, you say, that guy right there, he can play basketball. Now, he is a little small for his size, and that's why you're rendering him a point guard, because that's ultimately what he has to be, play in the NBA. But his skill set is such that you can put him right there with a skill set eventually of a Kyrie Irving, and you can put him there as that kind of basketball player, just pure talent. And so depending on how he develops in the right circumstance, the right system, you have a fantastic basketball player.
Well, let me ask you this, then,
yeah, please do, because I'm going to ask him too.
There's a lot of talk about Darius Garland, and John Morant and Darius Garland have very similar games. The exceptions would be their weaknesses, which one for Garland is his strength, but in terms of Morant, if you were to move him to a shooting guard, his three-point consistency, which can be developed, of course, just his long-range shooting overall, and then, of course, his turnover rate. But again, I think that would kind of go away if he were to not be a point guard, if he were to be a shooting guard. So I can easily see him going number two, but it becomes what type of coaching scheme that the franchise in question would be looking for.
And again, that number to call, if you want to give us a shout, area code 267-687-0026. Once again, area code 267-687-0026. Double J, to your point. Well, actually, let me go to Brother Rich right quick. I'm glad you clarified that whole Jordan John Morant thing, Brother Rich, because there's some folks out there, they hinge on every word.
Just basketball.
Just from a basketball standpoint. Right.
Any misunderstanding.
Right. Okay. So it's figurative, not literal. Now, John Morant is a point guard because he's a point guard. I've watched him play. The guy's a natural at the position, and he's fearless. For me, it always starts with what you got in that chest cavity, right? You know the reference I use, right?
Back.
You can't pull up in the Dodge Hellcat and it sound like it's fast until I ask you to open the hood and I see you got a Briggs and Stratton with a couple blowers on the top of it or something. I don't know what intercoolers or something. Like, what? That's 2.5, man. Get on up out of here. Because we've all seen that, right? Seen the car that sound like it's fast, but it take forever to get from point A to point B. But anyway, John Morant he's a real point guard. For real, he's a point guard. And I'm with you on that. I'm just not passing him up type deal. You know what I mean? But again, I think we asked this question before, and I'll throw it out here again. Is there any case to be made for Morant possibly going number one, or is it just Zion got that on lock?
Absolutely not. You can't pass on a naturally gifted. I mean, Zion Williamson is going to change basketball as we know it. We're getting ready to see a change of not only a changing of the literal guard in terms of him handing off to LeBron, but in terms of how the game is played. Everyone is saying to a man, to a analyst, male, female, they're all agreeing from everything I've seen. We have never seen anything like this. You and I, the closest thing people remember, you and I remember watching, we remember Double J watching Charles Barkley and his ability to jump and move. Nevertheless, this guy is a much more powerful player.
Hold that.
Enthusiasm, heart.
Hold that thought, because when you said, it sounded like you were saying much more polished, and that's when it started breaking up. See what I'm saying? And I ain't had nothing to do with me.
No. He's a much. I'm going to say it again. Zion Williamson is a much more polished basketball player at this stage of his development than Charles Barkley ever could have been.
Charles was fundamentally sound.
Remember,
way more fundamentally sound.
Remember now, I'm gonna bring no less than Michael Jordan to the carpet, who says and to a man, they all agree, which is a witness to his condition today, that Charles Barkley never took the understanding and the physical conditioning, and he never took basketball as seriously as he was supposed to, with the kind of natural gifts and talents he had. Had he just worked a little bit on, everybody says this, had he worked a little bit on his game, he could have been a multiple platinum all-star in the NBA.
And
but he was too
and what
lazy.
part of his game?
You see it in him today.
Okay, but what part of his game has Zion worked on? He's so much better at Charles Barkley at this point. I'll go back to Auburn when Charles Barkley was at Auburn.
But again, I'll put to you again. I'll tell you again, and I've always thought that you underestimated Zion's basketball intellect and in understanding why he needed to go. He saw he needed to go to Duke, to Krzyzewski. I thought that was a great move for him to go and put himself under Krzyzewski for a year to learn some of the things that he needed to learn to prep him for the next level as a basketball player, as opposed to going to Kentucky, where he wasn't going to necessarily learn basketball things. He was just going to get prepped for the next level in terms of how you act as a pro and how you carry yourself and understanding.
Okay.
This young man, he got some basketball lessons under Krzyzewski.
Okay, that's fine. And all that you said is a fact. But I'm going to give you another fact. When you talk about him and Charles Barkley in the same sentence, I'm going to ask you, what's his go-to move right now at Duke? And we talking about Duke being the junior to the ABA.
His go-to move, what was Shaq's go-to move? His go-to move is that he's unstoppable. That's his go-to move.
That's not a go-to move. That's not he's unstoppable because just like the today BA, the defenses are terrible in college.
Jay, I think this is why we're talking about a young man that's about to change the game in terms of we haven't seen anything like this. Now, I could give you the same argument. That's been my conversation for LeBron for 1,000 years. What's his go-to move? But the fact is we've never seen anything like LeBron. LeBron's go-to move is LeBron. Just let me do whatever the hell comes to me. Let me do that. His go-to move
I'll tell you what.
Zion Williams.
I'll tell you what. Okay, and I'm not saying Zion ain't going to be. But I'd like to see him at that level first before I start saying he's better than at this point to that. But that's fine, okay.
Jay,
but let me say this.
You've been saying this. You've been saying
I know, and I'm
going
to keep saying it.
And when he was in high school, you were saying this. When he got to college,
who was in high school? When who was in high school?
We watching it.
When who was in high school? You talking about LeBron? You talking about when LeBron was in high school?
No, when Zion was in high school.
I didn't see him
when he was in high school. He's just a dunk phenomenon.
No.
He's not going to amount to anything.
Okay, but no, I didn't say that because I didn't see him. That's why I was getting ready to go there next. Let me say this about him. I heard his name, of course, because he's this what all the talk shows do. They build you up. All right, that's fine. My son knows him because my son is more up to date on these new millennial today BA, new BA, basketball dudes. So
I was talking to my sons about him earlier. They know who he is. Same thing, but nevertheless, he lived up to the quote unquote hype.
Okay,
yes,
I'm not.
So the audience, everybody in our listening audience, they probably have heard of him.
Yeah, but listen,
I was telling my sons that my boy in North Carolina was telling me he didn't even pay attention to Zion because of all the hype. He thought it was just hype until he went to see him play at Duke, and he said. He called me and said, "Rich, this brother is the truth. This young man is real."
Okay, he's the truth based on what, though? He's the truth based on what? See, listen. Okay, because while he was at Duke, I'm going to tell you what I saw. Because, again, I use my eye test, my own eye test. I'm going to tell you what I saw. Not having seen him prior to, but my son showing me highlights and clips. Because when you do highlights can make a guy look all good or they can make a guy look all bad. And I'm not talking about him. I'm just talking about a player and hype and propaganda and all those things. So when all the talk on all the national shows was about Duke's matchup with Eastern Michigan, they blew the doors off Eastern Michigan. So just so happened, based on my work schedule, I was able to sit down and watch from begin to end the game against Gonzaga this year. See? And when I saw the game against Gonzaga, I said to my son, man, for the first time, I'm going to get a chance to see your boy, because that's all my son was talking about. I'm sitting there watching the game against Gonzaga, and one of the guys we'll get to in this mock draft order, Hachimura.
He's my sleeper. He's my sleeper. That's my sleeper.
Gave him the
business
with a capital BID-ness.
But again, there's a reason you picked that team, and there's a reason you picked that player, because that player, he's my sleeper. He's probably yours, and he's probably Double J's.
No, DeAndre Hunter. Well, DeAndre Hunter ain't no sleeper, but DeAndre Hunter's my outside of John Morant. DeAndre Hunter's my favorite player coming out in this draft. But go ahead.
So I'm not surprised that Hachimura gave it to him. I'm not surprised that he gave. But here again, I do not compare Zion Williamson's potential for the NBA based on anything or any one team he played at or any situation, circumstantial defense, situational basketball circumstances that he was involved in.
I'm not either. I'm basing it on the game I seen him in. So listen here, because my point is, if I see you, if you are what they say you are, and I only get to see you one time, the best players prove themselves to be the best against the other guy who say he the best. And what nobody's saying Hachimura was the best. And when the game started out, Hachimura looked like he was the best of me, or one of. So when you're the best and you got all the advertisement coming with you, then when you go up against that dude, come on, man, you know my analogies and my references and metaphors, or however you want to put it. I always say, because we always use boxing. You say, hey, man, I don't discount the guy who's 30-0 until I go back and look at who he done did it against. That has to weigh in at some point. And I'm not saying Zion ain't going to be. He ain't going to be. But I tell you what, every game I ever saw Charles Barkley in, every game I ever saw Charles Barkley in, from Auburn all the way to Philadelphia, I ain't never, ever see him not get nobody, whoever they said was the other guy on the other end, not give him the business. Because real talk, Hachimura not only gave the business to Zion, but he gave it to Barrett and Reddish too. That can't happen. That can't happen. You about to be the number one pick. If don't nobody else show up against the biggest and best dude on the other squad, whenever that moment is, because that ain't the same as having a bad game. And I'm not saying you, but I had this conversation with other people about this guy, and they want to mesh having a bad game with not showing up. Because real talk, while all these other guys are being mentioned, I can say about all the other cats that I grew up watching, they all had bad games. Yup, they sure did. Yup, they got beat in the first round. Yup. But they ain't never took a night off. Never.
But Jay, I said this to you before. I don't confuse the eras. I'm not confused in my eras. The NBA today is. I don't look for the NBA today. When LeBron became the figurehead of the NBA today is not the NBA of even Allen Iverson or even early Kobe Bryant era. That NBA is gone. So the NBA that I'm looking at today, when I see a young man like this getting ready to emerge, at first I'm looking at his natural physical gifts and talents, and I'm supporting and applauding that. And then I'm looking at his ability and how he moves on the basketball court, the fluidity, his natural gifts and talents that are quite obvious. And I'm saying the rest of the thing, they're going to be and can be and would be and should be developed, which is why I sent you a text off air yesterday, and I said to you that they're going to be nice. Why? Because I think that the fact that Alvin Gentry is their coach puts them in a fantastic position because he's going to get some real basketball coaching now.
I don't disagree with that.
Professional coaching.
I don't disagree with that. I'm with you on that.
That's what.
But I'm talking about development ain't got nothing to do with disappearing. We talking about development versus disappearing.
No, but Jay,
you can't disappear against Hachimura, man.
College, you're talking about in college.
Yeah, but we made the reference to Barkley. The Barkley, I said at Auburn, in college. I would send you some stuff with Barkley in college. He ain't never ever backed down, especially when he was going up against when the lights were the brightest. And true that, Barkley did not take heat. I said that too about a lot of cats. They don't work on their games or their bodies like they supposed to. But these dudes today do. But them guys, yeah, Barkley was one of them. He did not work on his body. He sure had a dad bod, so to speak, early on. But when he was on the floor, man, his Barkley, one of Barkley's go-to moves. Go ahead.
Let me give you a little bit of a counter argument. Look at his last game against Michigan State, where Cam Reddish and the rest of that team were struggling, and he rose to the occasion. So as much as you want to hone in on the Gonzaga game being one of his worst, he did kind of the opposite of what you're suggesting, the disappearing act, when the lights were the brightest during that tournament game. Although they didn't get the result, he single-handedly was really willing them for in that later in the second half. You can almost say the same thing when they went up against Taco Fall in UCF the previous game.
Yeah, Taco Fall. Yeah, he's tall, but that don't mean you can ball. And I'm with you on that. He showed up against Michigan State. But let me ask you, who is his equivalent? Who is the Hachimura equivalent on Michigan State?
They have one. They do have one.
Okay, and because I don't know. I mean, I know I don't follow Michigan State like I used to with Mo Peterson and Mateen Cleaves and Draymond Green and all them guys or whatnot. But who is that guy for Michigan State? Do you know him?
Yeah, it's. I want to get the. Let's see.
Yeah, take your time.
Cassius Winston.
What you say is Cash Wednesday?
No, not Cassius Winston, but not Langford. I want to say he was hurt prior. Wasn't going. Nick Ward. There you go.
Oh, okay. All right. Okay. Yeah. All right. I'm familiar with that. But at the end of the day, I'm not knocking it. We'll see. I don't have a problem with that. You know what I mean? I'm pulling for all the top picks to be pan out what they need to be, because guess what? If the top picks, for the most part, because that's what we're going to get to here in a minute, about them GMs. We were just, before Brother Richard had joined us, you and I, of course, Double J, we're talking about David Griffin and the moves that he's making, so to speak. That being that type of GM, man, you find some of these second round, late first round and second round guys, I'm pretty sure we can put a list together throughout the last 10, 15 years in the NBA. Some of them second round guys outplayed a lot of them guys who went in the top 10.
Absolute fact.
You get what I'm saying? So, I'm hoping that these not front runners, excuse me, these guys out in front, or the guys in front who will be picked first, I really do. I hope there ain't no second round guys, and then you'd be talking about another Toronto type team. You know what I mean? 'Cause you know how I am. I'm of the George Karl philosophy mindset. Build a team and let a star emerge. So now, that of course lends itself to this. Double J, I'll ask you first. Who is this year's sleeper in the draft?
Oh boy. You know what? I'm gonna pass this.
Oh
Brother
my gosh!
Rich, because
no!
He's been touching on it a couple times now. I want to hear it.
Oh my goodness! You know what? This is not the $20,000 pyramid. You can't pass, but I'll let you do it this time because the bell is not working. Go ahead, Brother Rich.
Well, I'm going to go right back to it. Rui Hachimura. He's the sleeper of this draft. I think he's probably going to be one of those players that people look back on a few years from now and say, wow, how did we ever let this guy? Because, yes, I don't know that it's going to be an overnight sensation, but I certainly believe that he will be, whoever gets Rui Hachimura is getting, in my humble opinion and estimation, the absolute steal of the draft. Absolutely.
What? You got to be kidding. Again, that number, if you want to call, area code 267-687-0026. That number again is area code 267-687-0026. The steal of the draft, you say? My, all right. Okay, well, Double J, Brother Richard has had his say. Now, what say you? Because I know you didn't just pass it without some kind of preparation.
Oh, no, I already had my guy. I was just curious if we were on the same page.
Okay.
I'm actually going to go a different direction because, to me, a true sleeper is somebody that we're not seeing every day. And somebody that hasn't been in the national conversation. And so I'm going to go Sekou Doumbouya.
I don't see him here on the I'm looking at a mock draft first round. I don't see him. Oh, yes, I do. I'm sorry. Just for the sake of this discussion today, fellas, I pulled up the Bleacher Report's first round mock, and we're going to get to that in a minute. We're going to list off the players and teams and who they're projected to go to, so on and so forth. But yes, I'm seeing Sekou Doumbouya, a small forward from France, is projected to go 12th to the Charlotte Hornets. But go ahead, Double J. You seem to know a little bit about this guy. Fill us in.
Yeah, absolutely. So again, the European game has grown on us tremendously. We continuously talk about the evolution of the game, and we're starting to see the NBA flirt with the idea of having FIBA rules, at the very least in the developmental league. And with that being said, you're talking about an 18-year-old kid. So somebody that has a few years on most of the folks that are in this discussion up to this point. In addition to that, he's got the size and he's got the versatility. He's somebody that it can be a Siakam, who is somebody you called on time and time again over that last finals over these last few weeks. So if he continues to develop his outside shooting and his ball handling, again, the sky's kind of the limit. So he very well could be the sleeper in all of this.
All right. Appreciate you, Double J, for taking a pick and making a pick that nobody else probably was picking. I sure as heck didn't know who the guy was. He's from France, and that international flavor is big, especially now on the heels of Luka Doncic. My goodness. The guy came in, what is he, 12? If he's not, he sure enough look it and was breaking folks off right off the gate. I mean, my goodness. Yeah, they need to go to FIBA rules. The NBA does because, and they need to make the dimensions of the court bigger, too. I'm so sick of these guys going for that corner three and stepping out of bounds with the heel. I mean, these guys are wearing size 19 shoes, man. The top of the three-point line to the baseline, to the boundary on the out of bounds right there where the folks be sitting at. That's not enough room for them big shoes to be fitting in. They need to change the dimensions of the court. All right, so a year from now, Brother Rich, the player most discussed will be blank.
Zion Williamson. Good or bad?
Oh, yeah. Oh, no. How did I know that?
Well, good or bad?
I'll walk right
so
into that.
He's either going to deliver in a dynamic, super dynamic way and live up to the expectations, or he will not, and that will be the question whether or not, because we're going to be discussing who won in this trade for a minute. And so a year from now, that's who we're going to be talking about, whether or not Zion Williamson panned out to be. And if he does not, that's going to be the other conversation, whether or not and why was there such a failure in the ability. And now, what if he doesn't pan out and John Morant stars and becomes that kind of player that people believe he's going to be? So I believe for whatever reason, unfortunately, it's going to be Zion Williamson. Hopefully it's for good, but one way or another, it's going to be Zion Williamson.
And what about you, Double J?
I'm going to go a little bit direction. I'm going to go DeAndre Hunter. I think he's the person that's going to have impact on the team that he goes to. Again, he won't be the sleeper, but his all-around game, he's a ball player. He can lock you down, and he can shoot right over you on top of that, and he can run both ways, for 48 minutes. So I think his stats, he may be a first-year All-Star at the very least. If All-Star Weekend doesn't change this year, then he'll be in that rookie game for sure.
Well, I like DeAndre Hunter. I don't see him falling to the Cavs at 5. And then there's some talk about the Cavs trying to move Clarkson in the 5th pick for Oscar Schmidt. He's no longer here, but, we'll see how that turns out. I can't even say hoping. I was thinking that, maybe if the Cavs didn't have a Dorsey per se, they'd have somebody at least that understood. I can't say it enough. Kudos to Tony Dungy for saying it. This whole emphasis on where guys picked and what round, and that has a lot to do with whether or not if he going to be this or be that. Tony Dungy said it, man. Any pick, regardless of what round and where picked, any pick can be a hit or miss. Do you have the front office the front office personnel or the front office people or the people in place in the front office to understand how to minimize that risk? That's what I look at first and foremost. Then I go to the icing on the cake. You know what I mean? You can't put icing on a cake that ain't a cake yet. Didn't make sense, but I said it. All right. That's what I rely on. So, we'll see. I hope all these guys turn out to be what everybody thinks that they will be, because it'll be better for the NBA overall. I mean, it really will. So, Brother Richard, we go to you with this one. Which team's draft decisions, quote unquote, will yield the fastest return on their investment?
The New Orleans Pelicans.
What? Oh, man, we're going to have to check. You know what, man?
Again, listen to what we're talking about. Listen to what we're talking about today. The New Orleans Pelicans have number 1 draft pick and the number 4 draft pick.
You breaking up a little bit.
They are about to. They have the New Orleans Pelicans have the number 1 draft pick, and they have the number 4 draft pick by the office and the auspices of the L.A. Lakers, which they plan on shifting into a mid-level player that they're being traded for somebody of significance. They have.
You're moving away from your phone. I need you to. You moving. You sound like you're moving around a little bit. I need you to kind of like stay near your phone because I heard. Yeah, that's better.
Okay. Can you hear me now?
Yeah, that's a little bit better.
They're rushed tremendously by these picks that they've gotten, and they have picked up Lonzo Ball, Hart, and B.I. So what they get back for number 4, people are going to be looking at them right away. Everyone's anticipating them to be good right away. The New Orleans Pelicans are the team.
Yeah. Well, we'll see. I mean, I think it's interesting for the Pelicans as well, to tell you the truth. But it's not going to last long, and we all know why. We don't have enough time in the show to discuss the market and how long they want to stay there and so on and so forth. But that is a factor, I do believe. So the clock is ticking on David Griffin in the Pelicans. But I mean, David Griffin, man, I was impressed when he was here. You know what I mean? I gave him kudos because we ain't had that here in Cleveland since Wayne Embry. You know what I mean? And I got one of my cats, man, one of my longtime sports colleagues. I call him Big C down there in the ATL. Big C, what up? Checking us out right now here on the Spreaker.com network. And he pipes in. He says, Zion isn't going to be all that. He said, I think he's going to be more like an X-Man or a Kemp in the league. What do you all say to that? I could see that too, though. More like a Kemp than an X-Man, Xavier McDaniels. But Xavier, though. Xavier was man, I remember, but see, that was our league. You know, cats got choked up real quick. You know what I'm saying? For extra hard fouls. Matter of fact, sidebar, I remember I saw Kareem. I just didn't see the game. Instead, I saw a video. Somebody had sent me a video of Kareem. They were playing against the Milwaukee Bucks, and I can't think of who the center was, but they were coming back down. The Bucks were on defense coming back down, and the Lakers were on offense, and the guy hit Kareem with an elbow. I mean, hit him in the mid. Did you see that, Brother Rich, by any chance? You, Double J?
I did.
You did? Was that you, Brother
I
Rich?
did.
Okay, yeah. Double J, what about you?
I did.
What about you? Did you see that video?
Of course.
Yeah, and he hit. Why do I want to say Jack Sigma? I don't know, but anyway, he elbowed Kareem in the stomach, man. I mean, bent him over. Kareem was bent over. Man, Kareem came up out of that bend. Dude had his head turned. Man, Kareem hit him with a straight right. And, you know, Kareem's wingspan was what?
It was Jack Sigma.
Oh, was it Sigma? Yeah, you know. Kareem caught him, too. Like, ow. And speaking of catching him, too, that's why I say my cat, Big C, he got hands, too. A pugilist. Believe me when I tell you, the man is a pugilist. But, yeah, I mean, you know, at the end of the day, you know, DeAndre Hunter, that's who I like to see the Cavs get. You know, he's very, very, very underrated as a scorer. Very underrated as an offensive player. We all know what he did as far as defense for them Virginia Cavaliers. Speaking of Cavaliers, the Virginia Cavaliers, you know, your national champions for this year, your national champions, you understand? But, yeah, DeAndre Hunter, man, you know, and that's why, I don't like the player comparison thing. My thing is, instead of saying this guy going to be the next this or that, you know, let's let that guy be him. That's my thing. But I can compare, if I see you doing what the guy everybody want to compare you to, if I see you doing what he did, well, then I can compare that. And, man, DeAndre Hunter, man, his attention to defense is like my boy. He do it on both ends. And I just cannot say it enough. I cannot get over the fact that people call Kawhi Leonard a two-way player like that's something special. That used to be a standard, man. You didn't even get in the game if you wasn't playing defense. But I digress. I digress. Up next, we go to the Bleacher Report, and I really don't like plugging them. But every now and again, they hit on something, and I kind of like, yeah, you know, we'll use this to discuss it. They put out a first-round mock draft. We're going to go through the players, and you tell me, Brother Rich or Double J, if you like it, meaning where the player is going, or you don't like where the player is going. And in order, Bleacher Report, their 2019 NBA first-round mock draft, they obviously have number 1, New Orleans, taking Zion Williamson. And they got the Grizzlies taking Ja Morant. Brother Rich, I'm going to stop right there because you and I had this discussion before about Memphis, the city. You see that working out well down there with Ja Morant? If everything shake out the way they say it's going to shake out, you think that's going to work out down there with Ja Morant? No? Yes? Maybe?
Well, I'll answer for him. I'll say absolutely it does.
Really? And why you say that?
Again, this guy's a pure shooter. He's somebody that can be developed. He's someone that, if you look at the team around him, it's younger players, and the sky is the limit for them. The unfortunate part is what you and I have talked about, you know, most recently in our last broadcast, that they're not shown a lot, but that's almost his benefit. You know, that his early struggles that he may face will not come with much criticism outside of locally, and he'll continue to elevate his game. Again, I often, you know, I go back to the rule of thumb of show me your friends, I'll show you your future. And again, when you surround yourself with the players that he is and their work ethic, this guy is going to be a 13 to 15 year vet by the time it's all said and done, and probably a 6 to 7 time All-Star.
Really? Down in Memphis, you think, huh?
Tell me, you think he's going to end up in Memphis?
Ja Morant is what we're talking about, right? You saying Ja Morant?
Yeah, he's not going to Memphis. He's going to Sacramento.
Well, I don't know. Why? I mean, from as it stands, Memphis got the number 2 pick.
Again, even if he ends up there, he's still going to be successful. He's still going to put up the numbers. He's still around for the time being. He's still around Mike Conley, and
yeah, but Mike Conley gone though.
Well, of course we do, but it's for the moment, and so he is going to be the focal point of the franchise. Which is, you know, if you can't have a great team around you, then that's the best position that you can be in, because at that point you're being catered to in the right way, meaning they're going to spend more time with you because they're as invested in you as you are in them.
Yeah, for whatever.
And you don't see that a whole lot in the league.
Yeah, for whatever reason, just want to mention right quick, we keep losing Brother Richard. I don't know what's going on, man. I got a bad connection or something here. We're going to try to get him back on the line. But, I mean, at the end of the day, though, where do you see Mike Conley going?
Well, you know, prior to the Raptors winning, I actually seen him going there. Now I could see him going to the Boston Celtics.
Yeah, and the event that Kyrie is gone.
Correct.
Yeah, Kyrie out of there, ain't he?
Without a doubt, yeah. I don't believe he's a member of the Boston Celtics on Friday.
No way. Brother Rich, you back with us?
Brother Rich, you back with us?
No, maybe not.
Jay.
Yeah, okay.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I got
I'm
you
here.
now. Okay, I got you now.
I keep thinking y'all knocking me off because I'm going so hard today. I think you're knocking me off on purpose today. I really think you're not.
No, I don't need to do that.
You don't want me to defend Zion Williamson today.
You can defend Zion Williamson. You can defend why. Trust me, I got a stack of Encyclopedia Britannica OJOs over here. You know what I'm saying? I just look up something right quick to come back at you. You know how we do it now. You know how we do it. You know how we do it, man. But go ahead.
Indeed,
well, let me throw this to Brother Rich then. Brother Rich, do you agree with me that the New Orleans Pelicans moved the number 4 pick, but taking it a step further, one of those options is to include a 2020 pick, first round, of course, from the Boston Celtics, in addition to Kyrie Irving?
I agree with that, except that Kyrie wouldn't go for that, so it wouldn't work.
I told you.
I
told you about disgruntled.
Kyrie's not going for that.
Yeah,
Kyrie's not going.
I told
Kyrie
you.
not going to play.
But again,
in that Kyrie wants to dictate his own circumstances this time, and that's why it's clear that he just signed with Rock Nation. They're all based out of Brooklyn, and it's every indication says that Kyrie is going to one of the New York teams to lead them back to glory, or to lead them to glory in the case of Brooklyn. It would be to glory,
okay.
But it looks as though that's what he's determined to do.
Yeah, but Kyrie is from New
right.
York, so he's from Brooklyn.
It's no different than
Indeed.
Lonzo Ball. Lonzo Ball could very well end up getting, maybe this might benefit LeVar a little bit more, by ending up in Boston, being a part of this trade. So they swap picks in the first round of this year's draft with that 4th pick, and swap Kyrie Irving with Lonzo Ball. And no different than what the Pelicans had said from the ownership side, the Celtics are known to be just as stingy in saying, look, we're not just going to allow you to tell us how we're going to make our move. We're going to do it our way. This gives us our best chance to win. If they want to send you to Brooklyn, by all means, that's their problem.
But let me ask you this question, Double J. Do you want a player of Kyrie Irving's talent? Do you want him on your franchise? Do you want him on your team when he definitely does not want to be there? He's a material talent.
I was just getting ready to say
that. We know
that.
now that he's at the stage of his career where he can call shots. He's already won rings. He has a title. So he's at a place where he wants to dictate that element of his career. Do you want him on your team if he's not willing to be a part of that?
Yeah,
I have a hard
or
time
would you rather
that.
would you rather package that number 4 pick and get a who say you go get, I'm not saying him in particular, you get a player of a Mike Conley, or even you trade with Washington, the Wizards, and you get one
Bradley
of their
Beal.
guards, you get one of their players, one of their seasoned vets from there.
Reports. Hold on.
Sir?
Yeah, I don't know what's going on here, but
DJ, I'm going to tell you this right now. It's based on what the counter arguments that both of you guys have made. The most logical choice for that number 4 pick is ultimately going to be in the hands of the Atlanta Hawks.
Yeah.
And they're going to give up.
Now, I like that.
Yeah.
I can see that.
Yeah, and I mentioned that earlier, that there's been reports that the Pelicans are in conversation, if nothing else, with Atlanta about the number 4 and the number 8 and the number 10. That would be a shrewd move,
because
too,
they
though.
have pieces. They have
Yeah.
pieces.
Yeah, that's David Griffin, though. He got his imprint all over that. That's David Griffin, man.
Which is why, and as you said, David Griffin, and this sounds crazy. I said this to a Laker fan earlier, and I know today this sounds insane. But I believe that the Lakers got fleeced in the deal. I believe David Griffin fleeced us.
Oh, yeah. I mentioned that to a couple of folks at work, man. They was about ready to push me out the front door and the back door at the same time. But right here, too, at the number 3 spot, where, we got the New York Knicks, they got R.J. Barrett going to the Knicks. Anybody? Somebody?
And that's a check for me. I like that move. I like that.
Do you?
He seems ready to land in New York. I wish we could have had John Morant or something like that, but R.J. Barrett is, he's next best.
Okay, so now
they're spinning their wheels. At this point, it doesn't matter what the Knicks do, as long as Dolan's affiliated with the franchise. They keep trying to get rich quick, and they bail on their young talent. If you look at Porzingis, if you look at their previous moves leading into that from the Carmelos and the Amari Stoudemire's, they are trying to get back to 1993 so bad, and they're trying to do it in a hurry. and they just keep getting in their own way because New York is demanding that they New York is a basketball mecca first and foremost. So it's
you
not
gotta
even
tell
a black eye. It's a disgrace that they're in the state that they're in.
Yeah, and you know what? But to be honest, man, I'm not really sold on Barrett. I could see you making a case for Zion and Cam. Cam Reddish is the one I would. Cam Reddish. I think he had to take a back seat to the hype, and people looked at that like I don't know this for sure. I'm speculating here, but I didn't watch enough basketball. I would pretty much. I think Cam Reddish had somewhat of a lid. They put a lid on him somewhat because the other two were headed to the draft. You get what I'm saying? Wink, wink. You know, because there was times
I agree.
I think Cam Reddish is the more polished of the three. Not saying he's gonna be better than the other two. I just think he's the more polished of the three. I mean, because again, with that whole, if we stay on that ideology or that line of thought that any pick can be a hit or miss, I mean, really, at the end of the day, it's all speculation. You know what I mean? We got to really, because, you know, and people do these pre-draft grades and all that kind of stuff. I get it, it's good, sales tickets and all of that. But you can't really, especially when it comes to the NFL, you cannot really grade a draft until you've seen the draft come out and be what it's going to be for at least a year, at least 2 years. At least, I think you can get a good sizable chunk of what a player is going to be, you know, after you've seen him for a while. You know what I mean? But other than that, man, you can't really say, you know, it's all speculation. At number 4, it's provided that the Pelicans stay at number 4. They via, of course, the Lakers. They're projected to take my dude, DeAndre Hunter. Now, here's the question. I mean, the NBA or the Today BA is all about positionless basketball, right? Let's say they take a DeAndre Hunter, Double J. Now, how does Zion and Julius Randle and I don't know who else they got over there playing the big, but how does that fit? How would all of that fit? Because it seems like
unfortunately, they're still a below 500 team. They need an all-star. They're not going to. That pick won't happen. Unfortunately, he's going to go likely number 5 to Cleveland.
Oh man, I would love to see that. And speaking of number 5, well, Brother Rich, you want to weigh in on that? You think DeAndre Hunter could go to the Pelicans if they would keep that pick?
I don't think it would help them at all. I don't think they need DeAndre Hunter. Here's why. Because does Alvin Gentry want to have that much young, underdeveloped, budding talent?
Okay.
Because so that's why they want to use that pick to get a veteran player, bring in some veteran players, a mid-level exception type veteran player in the locker room that's been around, that can help season these younger players. And then you have the young Laker team that's there now. And you're going to already have some issues in terms of dealing with their egos and the trades and the adjustments and the situational circumstances in terms of family lives and all the things that go along with being in a new environment. Yeah. I don't know if you want to add to that mix the number 4 or the number 5 draft pick. I don't know if you want to do that. Yeah, you want to get a more seasoned player with that.
And that number again to call, area code 267-687-0026. The number again is area code 267-687-0026. Let me stay right there on the veteran player thing, and let me elaborate on that. And I'm going to use the NFL again, and I'm going to use the Cleveland Browns. Don't do the roof, Brother Rich. We get it. Baker and them boys going to the Super Bowl. But anyway, you can have a veteran for the sake of having a veteran, or you can have a veteran that had an impact. If you're a young quarterback in the NFL, like my man Bernie Kosar was once upon a time, you know who he had as his mentor? Gary Danielson. Now go look up Gary Danielson. He wasn't no Manning or no Montana or nothing like that, but Gary Danielson was pretty darn good in his day. He was decent enough. Or would you rather have Derek Anderson? Get it? Yeah. Because Derek Anderson's been in the league for what, 27 years now?
Correct.
Okay. So if I'm a young quarterback, give me a Gary Danielson. Somebody whose mind, and when they can, and then I can go more recent. I'll take Tony Romo's mind. Now, it didn't always translate because, you know, his QBR rating was better than his playoff performances. But anyway, I like him in the booth, though. Tony be doing his thing, though. He be calling it. Yeah, he that dude right now. He's hot commodity right now. But somebody whose mind can translate when they conveying to you, hey, what are you seeing out here? Because that's what good veterans do. What are you seeing on film? Are you seeing this, or are you just a guy who's happened to be journeyman? You played on 42 different teams in 15 minutes. All right, well, a veteran. Okay. So, yeah. But I'm in agreement with you, Double J. When you say all-star, they need to add somebody who can, show them young guys how to be professionals. I believe that's what you were implying, correct? Double J?
Of course.
You said Double J?
Yeah.
You got to show somebody how to win. You got to walk before you run here, and the easiest way that's done is through a parental figure, or in this case, somebody that's already done it.
Yeah. And at 5, going back to this mock draft from Bleacher Report, they got the Cavs taking Jared Culver. I like him too, though, to be honest with you. And that actually makes more sense because here's another thing I have, a caveat, if you would. You can't add a player for the sake of adding a player either. And this guy Chuck in the barbershop, he really made a good point. He brought that up. He made a very, very good point. He said, if you're a team, you got to first establish who you're going to build, which player you're going to build around. And I know, again, we talk about positionless basketball or whatever. Let's just say, for the sake of argument, that player you're going to build around happens to be your power forward. Okay, so now you got to go get a shooting guard. If you're going to go get the next guy, you can't go get another power forward. You see? You got to get a player that complements the player that you're starting as your load-bearing wall, so to speak, before you build the house. You got to go get players that complement. And Jared Culver, him being a shooting guard, and then watching that Texas Tech run, you know what I mean? It makes more sense. But, I mean, I'm taking DeAndre Hunter. And I don't, no offense to Culver, but I'm taking DeAndre Hunter. But just for the sake of argument, do you think, Brother Rich, you see Jared Culver being a decent pick for the Cavs? But it makes sense,
Absolutely.
though. Yeah,
especially
it
for
does.
the location. Absolutely makes sense.
Yeah, it makes sense. What about you, Double J? It makes sense to you? Or are you getting ready to come with a monkey wrench?
Yeah, I personally feel that he would be a better fit for the Chicago Bulls, but but we'll see.
Okay. At 6, Double J, this is your guy. The Phoenix Suns are projected to take Darius Garland, point guard from Vanderbilt. Yay or nay? I don't know why I'm asking you because I know you're a Darius Garland fan, so to speak. Or are you not a Darius Garland fan? Excuse me.
Well, again, his only tainted part of his resume is the injury. But again, he has all of the tools to be a very talented athlete. But again, I think in the right situation, and unfortunately, that would be it. But I'm telling you now, this list is going to get ripped in half here just from the way it's being from these first few picks thus far, because that trade at 4 is going to change everything.
The whole dynamic. Yeah. Well, that's why we're going through this now. And if we need to, we'll do a special edition. Right? As long as my battery is charged up on the laptop, baby. At 7, the Chicago Bulls are projected to take Kobe White, point guard from North Carolina. Brother Rich, does this make sense to you? Excuse me.
Doesn't make sense to me, but again, it's the Chicago Bulls, and they're one of those teams that always seems to be doing something different every year.
Yeah, because their front office is.
You never know what direction they're going in. Exactly.
They don't either.
What direction they're going in, whether they're
don't either.
with coaching or player personnel or this.
Yeah.
You never know what they're doing.
Yeah,
so I'm not surprised.
Their front office is terrible with a capital terrible. It's Ray terrible. Yeah, long gone are the days of Jordan, and Dickie Simpkins. What about you, Double J? You like that pick for Chicago?
I think it would be a terrible move. Again, to your guys' point, it shows chaos within their front office.
Yeah.
And we'll leave it at that. Huh?
Yeah, right. It don't make sense to me. At 8, the Atlanta Hawks are projected to take another guy I like, we just mentioned, Cam Reddish, shooting guard from Duke. Now, see, potentially, that's interesting. You pair him with
really
Trey.
like that because
Yeah, because they complement each other. Him and Trey complement each other.
That's exactly why. And the other thing about that move, I think that's why it's a great move for him, is because that's a great market for them. That's a young, budding, up-and-coming team. They're getting it together. That's a great market for him. So he can develop its major. Atlanta's still a major market in terms of his marketing ability, but it's not a high-pressure situation. So they can develop, and Trey had such a great young rookie season. They can kind of develop together. Yes, yeah. I think that's wonderful. Yeah, that'd be a good move for them.
Yeah, they do a move like that, man. That's a team to watch for. That's for sure. At 9, the Washington Wizards are projected to take Nasir Little, small forward from North Carolina. I don't see this one either. I don't know. Because, we don't know what's going on with John Wall. We don't know when he's coming back, if he's coming back. And apparently or reportedly, the Wizards are not looking to shop or not letting Bradley Beal go. So,
because they know that John Wall has to get out of there.
I was just getting ready to say that. Yeah, I was going to ask you that. Yeah, the John Wall, that might be the signing of his exit. And I can understand that too, though. You know what I mean? Because as great an offensive dynamo he is, Wall, he's a sieve on the defensive end. And that's kind of surprising because he was lightweight decent at Kentucky. But anyway, yeah, I don't know how this Nasir Little thing would shake out with them. But, we'll get a chance to see all these guys if the draft order, of course, plays itself out the way we are reading it here, because Double J seems to think that number 4 pick is going to shake up the whole rest of the draft, including the second round. All right. At number 10, the Atlanta Hawks from the Dallas Mavericks, or Cowboys, whichever you choose to say. Jackson Hayes, power forward / center from Texas. Now, this is very, very interesting. See, they building it. If this thing play out now, Atlanta, man, they building an inside-out type game. They got some perimeter going on, and they got some interior. See, that's what I keep trying to say. You can have this today, BA. You can have it. But no matter what the case may be, you can't get away from the fundamentals, man. You can play sexy ball all you want to. And guess what? It's going to come down to the fundamentals when it really, really matters most. Boxing 1. Excuse me. Huh? Ain't nobody said nothing. Nick Nurse said, we got to shoot more threes. I think we need to make sure that we, beyond the three-point line he said we're going to play a boxing 1 on Steph. And again, right quick to the Warriors, give the Warriors credit because despite all of what they didn't have, the Raptors still had to go get it now. All right, we remiss if we don't mention that, right? Okay. So, that's for all them folks out there who smashing Steph Curry now, talking about he ain't, I'm not going to even go off into that. The nerve. Anywho. At 11, you got the Minnesota Timberwolves taking Brandon Clark, power forward from Gonzaga. I get why they would do that, but I'm not so sure about the Minnesota Timberwolves, period. I'm disappointed in DeAndre and Wiggins. What about you, Brother Rich, as far as Wiggins?
Well, the word is Wiggins is out of there anyway. And here's the thing. And again, if you recall some of our conversations, Jay, I mentioned to you when they traded Wiggins to Minnesota, when they traded him from Cleveland, that he was not going to perform well. I knew he was not because, again, it's environment. The draft, with what we're talking about. A lot of these circumstances are going to be dependent on whether you even go to the right team. I heard something interestingly. Let's just go over this. You are the person that told me about Pascal Siakam, and I found out that he was on that team last year but didn't get any run. So it depends on the environment you go to, the coach that gets there, that nurtures you, which is why, again, I believe this is a great move to the Pelicans because Alvin Gentry is there to nurture those young talents, to convince those young men to give it a chance and to run with them for a couple of seasons. Whoever these young players go to, it depends on whether or not they're even going to get a chance to show what they can do. You get in a situation where the coach needs to win now, and so he doesn't feel like he's investing with you, or he feels he's in a situation where he has to play you and he resents playing you, like happened with Lonzo Ball. These are all very serious situations, man. And so it's all situational in terms of this draft thing.
Yeah, indeed. I'll say this, too. he has the potential. Some have said to be better than Hachimura. Actually, I mean, it's possible. We'll see. I mean, he did. They did. Him and Hachimura kind of lightweight balled out in the tournament. They did. But, you know, it's just that Gonzaga thing, man. You know, I just don't think the world is ready for Gonzaga to be a national champion. And I don't mean that to be offensive. I'm just saying it just don't roll off the tongue right. At 12, the Charlotte Hornets, we just mentioned, are projected to take Double J's boy, Sekou Doumbouya, a small forward from France. Seeing how we already discussed him, Double J says he's going to be a Hall of Famer his first year in the league. At 13, you didn't say that, Double J? My bad. It must have been another Double J I was talking to. Anywho, at 13, the Miami Heat are projected to take Rui, and I hope I'm pronouncing that right, R-U-I? Anywho, Hachimura.
That's it.
Brother Richard, your boy. Small forward, power
That's
forward
right.
from Gonzaga. But now they're going to put him next to who? Hassan Whiteside? The 7'11" guy who really don't play to his size? And not consistently enough anyway. I think it's a disgrace,
Right.
even to the Today BA, for a guy like Hassan Whiteside to, in one game, give you 25 and 29, and in the next game, he hard to find. That's a disgrace. This basketball we dealing with here. You got Dwight Howard grabbing on folks. Anyway, ooh, I don't know where that came from, but I'm so sick of him too. Yeah. So what you say, Brother Rich? Huh? Is he that piece?
Well,
You know, to take Miami to the promised
absolutely
land?
believe he's that piece. I don't know about take him anywhere, but I believe Rui Hachimura is definitely that piece that a team can use. Absolutely.
All right. What about you, Double J? You want to weigh in on that too?
Yeah, Hachimura should be the first Gonzaga player taken in the draft. Again, Wiggins will be a Chicago Bull before the end of that night. This is madness.
Oh my gosh. Double J, you dropping some tidbits today here. What's going on, man? You know something we don't know? And if you did, how come you didn't text me before we came on the show? Oh, and before you answer, that number again, area code 267-687-0026. Once again, the area code is 267-687-0026. We are winding down to the last portion of the program today. We've been going for a minute, fellas. You know what I mean? I hope folks out there take a listen long enough. But, yeah, Double J, you want to speak up for yourself there or no? No?
On which behalf?
Never mind. Never mind. That was a good answer. All right, at 14, the Boston Celtics from Sacramento are projected to take Keldon Johnson, the shooting guard from Kentucky. So is Tatum out of there, or is he a 3?
He's out of there.
Double J, is he gone? Is Tatum gone?
Don't let the door hit you on the way out.
Whoa, don't let it hit you where the good Lord split you. Oh, my goodness. Wow, man. Y'all ain't showing no love to Tatum. I mean, the Celtics was just in the Eastern Conference Finals 10 minutes ago, and he had a lot to do with it.
Tatum. They have too much talent on the team. They need role players.
Oh, okay, got you.
Now. They don't need 100 number one draft. They have too many.
Okay,
and that's been proven.
Okay, so in other words, to my point, many conversations before, sometimes you can have too much, and that's what the Celtics are dealing with here.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, Double J, here's one for you. At 15, for your Motor City Motorolers, the Detroit Pistons are projected to take Romeo, Master P's son, Langford. I digress. I'm just kidding. Shooting guard from Indiana. Yeah. You know what? That might not be a bad pick, though. Dude, pretty nice. I mean, I watch a lot of Big Ten.
Are we on a serious show? Are we on a serious show? Or are we on a? Okay.
So what you say? Is this the Gong Show now? Is that what you're saying?
Come on.
Oh,
now.
man.
I'm on the Gong Show.
Oh, man, stop it. Double J got to he got to show Michigan some love. We show Michigan love here on this program. And I probably lost all the 10 callers right there, but hey, this show must go on, as they say. That might not be a bad pick, though. Double J, you think that's a bad pick? Of course, should everything shake out the way?
It's a horrible pick because
Oh, my
Reggie Jackson's
God.
still on the roster.
Reggie Jackson is out of there. I thought Reggie Jackson was a point guard.
He is,
but
unfortunately.
Yeah,
And he's got too much cap space. Nobody wants him. We would have to give up him and Blake Griffin to get Trae Young.
Trae Young's not coming to Detroit. No, that was not going to happen. No, he's not going to lead ATL for Detroit. And I ain't saying nothing bad about Detroit. Downtown is fabulous. But Romeo Langford is a shooting guard. Theoretically.
Correct. But you're right. But he's undersized. He put up better numbers in high school, of course.
Okay.
He was in Indiana too long. He didn't bloom to the extent that everybody thought. And again, this is coming from a Purdue guy. He should have. I mean, they weren't even a tournament team. Let that sink in. You're telling me this guy's worthy of yet look what John Morant was capable of doing. That's the difference there. That he's a subpar player, not a good pick.
All right. That's coming straight from the Detroit Pistons' mouth. That's Double J talking to y'all out there. Okay, well, in that number 16, Orlando Magic are projected to take Nickeil Alexander-Walker, the shooting guard from Virginia Tech. Now, I got to say this about the Magic. If they don't get it together soon, I mean, they might as well go ahead and file for contraction from the league. You think so, Brother Rich?
Absolutely.
Yeah. Matter of fact, they need to do it today.
And, I've told you contraction is coming.
Hey, and so is the Big Three. Yeah, the Big Three's coming. Yeah, Big Three. Yeah, the Big Three's coming. Yeah, I'm not. I don't know what Orlando's doing, man. And I'm not saying I'm a basketball savant. What?
They were a playoff team and took one game from your NBA champions.
Oh my gosh, really? They were a playoff team? Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Surely you jest. All right. By trying to say they were a playoff team like they were one Kevin Durant away from winning it all. And your 2019 NBA champion is the Orlando Shanghai Sharks. Magic. Yeah. And I'm not going to, because they do got a little story franchising to them. We know Penny, Shaq, and, that year that everybody thought.
The history of underachieving.
Oh, yeah. I was trying to be nice about it, really. You just have to steal thunder. And I'm not talking about the ones at OKC. You just got to steal the thunder, right, Double J? All right, well, at 17, and this is from Brooklyn, the Atlanta Hawks are projected to take P.J. Washington, the small forward from Kentucky. Dude is nice. Underrated. Actually, he could go a little bit higher than where they projected him at. But I'm still waiting for this whole number 4 thing because Double J just seems to be hockey sticks bent on the fact that this number 4 thing is like it's in the bag.
You come on, you know better than that. Of course it is. You know your old general manager, and then additionally, I'm surprised that you're that high on P.J. Washington, considering his questionable defense. And just he's not a natural rim protector. His quickness overall on the defensive end is under, scrutiny.
Yeah, that's true.
I don't know.
Well, I'll say this. I would tell any young player going into the NBA, I just need to be on a roster. I need to be on somebody's staff. Look here, young fella. Put that ball down. What we're getting ready to do is hit this free throw line. We're going to start on this corner, and I want you to shuffle across the free throw line, turn, shuffle down to the baseline, turn, shuffle across, then turn and shuffle back up to the free throw line. That's what we're working on, moving your feet. And we're going to do it with your hands behind your back, not tied necessarily. We ain't in all of that. We're going to put your hands behind your back, and you're going to shuffle them feet. That's all you need to do in the today, BA, to play decent defense. But this Matador stuff, you let a guy like James Harden, I know we ain't talking about him, but we might as well be, go from one end of the floor to the other for a game-winning layup? Stop it. But we'll see. But somebody need to teach him. That's a teachable thing, even at this level. You know what I mean? And then, of course, that along with the fact that you got to want to do it, because that's another part of playing solid defense is the will or the want to. Guys just don't want to. You know what I mean? We've seen some of the game's best stars. The other team score, they already on their way back down the floor with their hands out like a wide receiver. Like, right back, dog, right back. Lamar Odom, no disrespect, boys. The black hole at Rhode Island. At number 18, the Indiana Pacers are projected to select Kevin Porter Jr., shooting guard from USC. Not familiar with this guy. Didn't get to watch a lot of USC games. Even though I do got some West Coast action and availability, it just wasn't in the USC. So, I'll put it back right to you, Double J. Do you know about this guy, this Kevin Porter Jr.?
Yeah, again, his Hoop Summit is what got him on everybody's radar. But again, no different than the majority of the Pac-12 as a whole. They lack, him specifically, he lacked consistency. His shot selection was under question. He's very ball down.
Up.
Is he coachable?
Yeah.
That's horrible.
What's the fact that he's not coachable?
Correct.
Now that's interesting. I hadn't heard that before. So you're saying right here, right now, today on the show, at the 2-hour mark, yeah, we've been rolling, fellas, that he's uncoachable?
Well, he has to go to a strong team with a strong dynamic from the coaching staff in the front office. Otherwise, it's going to be a zoo.
I got you. At 19, the San Antonio Spurs are projected to select, and I'm getting ready to butcher this name, but it's not intentional, Goga, Goga, Bitadze. That's Bitadze. And he's a center from the Republic of Georgia. Boy, the Spurs are in love with international players, aren't they?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, wow. You say that like you know this guy, Double J. You talked to him yesterday or something? Fill us in. Don't hold out, man. We all want to know.
I didn't talk to him, but look, he's got from on paper, and again, as I'm saying that on purpose, on paper, 7'3" wingspan, 9'2" reach. That's insane. He mimics Nikola Jokic and Brook Lopez. Again, the only concern is, and this is something that, again, in the right system, and that's why I love him going to the Spurs with Pop, because you worry about his lateral mobility and ultimately his pick and roll, just guarding that in those situations. But that is something that Pop will absolutely be able to correct and utilize his size and reach to his advantage. And, and again, he can't really get up there from a vertical standpoint. But again, with those types of attributes physically, he'll be okay.
Well, I'll tell you what. If Sean Bradley and what was the other center's name? Manute Bol. If they could play in the NBA.
I thought you were going to go George Mirasan.
Oh, well, wow, yeah. Mirasan, a la Abdul Nabi. Yeah, I got you. I mean, if those guys could play in the NBA, I'm sure this guy can too. As can Taco Fall. I just hope Taco don't fall. At 20, the Boston Celtics from the Los Angeles Clippers. And there's been some talk, by the way. Stuff stirring up again about Kawhi, despite the championship, on his way to the Clips, as Brother Richard has alluded to, more often than not on the show. But at 20, the Boston Celtics from the Los Angeles Clips, Grant Williams, the power forward from Tennessee. Hey, man. We all know who Grant Williams is. That dude is a force. He the type of force, man, that size, speed, athleticism, and what he run in the 40 or what he did at the combine does not tell you what kind of dude he is. Double J, that sounds like you in the background right there. I mean, what's going on? Dinner floss is stuck or something?
He reminds me of another Williams. He reminds me of Sean Williams.
Oh, stop it.
North Carolina.
Wait a minute. Wait. So are you sitting here trying to say that this is a bad thing? This guy's not good at all? Even on the collegiate level?
You see, on the collegiate level, he's a great player, without a doubt, but so is Sean Williams. You can overpower guys that are often undersized or just not in the same caliber of athlete that you are. but I have a feeling his ceiling is far too low.
Okay, so let me ask you this then. Is he the kind of player that even at the collegiate level, would you agree that he has a nose for the ball, so to speak?
Oh, yeah, he knows how to get himself in position. He would have been a better fit maybe for the Golden State Warriors.
Okay, got you. Okay, sort of in that, okay, add another Draymond Green or somebody to come off the bench behind the Draymond Green, so to speak. Maybe. No?
Agreed.
Okay.
Yeah, but again, yeah.
Okay.
He was what the Warriors lacked. He's what Draymond Green kind of needed to do in more of those games.
Okay. At 21, Oklahoma City Thunder. Your Oklahoma City Thunder, Brother Rich. Tyler Hero, and that's spelled Herro, Hero, shooting guard from Kentucky. That's what they missing. I think that's what they missing. That's what they missing. They missing the shooting guard. Because Paul George.
Are they really missing that? Will Westbrook let somebody be a shooting guard?
Oh, stop it. Stop. I knew it. How did I know it? I knew that you was getting ready to cut my man Westbrook like that. I mean, come on now. You got to love Westbrook. Who wouldn't want to play with Westbrook? Right? For his tenacity and all those things.
Kevin Durant.
Oh, my gosh. Yeah, winner, chicken dinner. Walk, walk. Benedict Durant. But I think that's what they're missing. Did Paul George play any shooting guard last year? No? Nobody knows?
Very little. I mean, remember, this is a ball-dominant basketball player we're dealing with here. Ball-dominant, attitude dominant.
Oh, boy. Yeah, I can't deny. All that's true. Yeah, all that's true. Yeah. Well, Billy Donovan might be on his way out of there too, so maybe they'll get Paul Silas, somebody who can corral all of that. You know? Come here, young fella. Have a seat. This is how I'm going to need you to do it. Yeah, put that ball down. Yeah, we can replace some defense. At 22, the Boston Celtics, once again, I mean, my gosh, how many picks do the Boston Celtics have in this draft? 48? Gee, my knees. At 22, it seemed like it. Seemed like that's the only team we've been calling off here is the Boston Celtics. At 22, they take, now here I'm getting ready to butcher another name, Bol, B-O-L, center from Oregon. Al Horford is definitely gone. And what Danny Ainge seems like he's trying to do here, this guy might be complimentary to them. They might not need him, look for him to score a whole lot or whatever. You know, they take the NBA today, you know they do, man. They take the big man and make him a garbage man, DeAndre Jordan. You know, I'm glad he got paid, though, but, you know, if he ain't lobbing, then, you know, go and hit that doorknob and get on up out of here with that. As a matter of fact, I'm going to need you to go stand in the corner and put your nose in it. Big men today are garbage men. Hey, we're going to shoot 75 threes a game, get our numbers up, and you just clean up the ones we miss. Deal? Deal. Got you. And we'll pay you $25 million. Cool. Sounds good to me. But anyway, with all the other stuff Ainge seems to be trying to do, this guy might fit in just by default, so to speak. Look, just be big in the middle. What you say, Brother Rich? No? Maybe?
I agree with you.
What? What you talking about, Willis? What you talking about, Willis? You agree with me for once?
When you say things that I can agree with, I agree with you.
Okay.
But if you dog Zion or KD, I can't.
I'm not dogging them.
What make basketball sense? I agree with you.
Well, I tell you what, whatever you have and make mine's a double. Okay, at 23, Double J, did you want to weigh in right there on 22 or no?
Nope, I'm going to leave it right. That was well said.
Okay, got you. Appreciate it. Who was well said, Brother Rich or me? I see you.
Brother Rich, of course.
Oh, got you. That's right. I forgot I was dealing with two soccer fans here. Yeah. Viva UEFA.
Yeah, we are definitely soccer fans. We're soccer. It's not a soccer show, though. Are we about to do a soccer show?
No, we're not doing soccer.
My son with me, so we rep. Okay.
I know. But I'm rooting for Liverpool. Why, I don't know, but I am. I like the colors, I guess. At 23, the Utah Jazz are going to select, or projected to select, Cameron Johnson, small forward from North Carolina. I'm not going to lie to you, man. North Carolina may have looked like North Carolina, but they just didn't look like North Carolina. Does that make any sense? No? Okay, maybe it's just me. I mean, this whole Kobe White and all these guys, it's usually a few North Carolina players, man. And I'm like, oh, yeah, he's going to be next. He's next level right now. I just didn't see that from none of them guys this year, man. Not even Kobe White, to tell you the truth. So, I don't know.
You want us to disagree with you? Because I can't disagree with that. I agree with that.
Yeah. Yeah, what about you, Double J? Sometimes you just disagree just for the sake of disagreeing. So, go ahead and disagree with me.
No, let's just leave things right as they are.
Yeah, gotcha. All right, and at 24, we are nearing the end of the mock draft, first round, and the show, of course. At 24, the Philadelphia 76ers are projected to select Ty Jerome, the point guard from Virginia. Okay, so what do we make of this, Double J? Because I'm totally clueless on this one.
What do you mean? I mean, it reiterates that Markelle Fultz was unfortunately a bust. They need this.
No. Say that again. Markelle Fultz was a what? Oh, yeah, that's what
he
I thought.
He was unfortunately a draft bust.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And you know what? And that, even from my end, I feel like it's unfair to do that. But by default, just by the definition of it, he didn't live up to what they were hoping for. His career is not over. If Derrick Rose can return to a level of, that he has been capable of doing, then Markelle Fultz can certainly become a better player.
All right. I guess I'll buy that for right now. All I got is 35 cents, so and it only costs 34 cents, so what the heck. Brother Rich, what about you? You want to weigh in right quick?
Well, the way you put it, I can't argue with that. Give him a chance to be a better player because, he may have just been in the wrong situation. So give him a chance to be a better player. Let's see what happens.
All right. At 25, then, the Portland Trailblazers are projected to select Matisse Thybulle, small forward from Washington. Yeah, because who plays small forward for them? Why can't I think of his name right now? Not Harkless. Oh, boy. What is the Farouk Alaminu, right? Yeah.
Yep.
Trash. T-Rash. Anybody's better than Farouk Alaminu right now. He can ready be one of them overseas, them Shanghai Sharks. He going to be over there on the team with Jimmer Fredette. And then, ESPN going to do a story like Jimmer Fredette and Farouk making their way back to the NBA. They dropped 80, and Fredette had 79 on I don't even know the other team in China. No offense to China, but, if I can't read your name on the front or the back of your jersey, I'll pass. So, any naysayers to Matisse Thybulle replacing Farouk Alaminu? Okay, good. Because, hey, yeah, because if my man Nurkic come back and this Thybulle guy shake out to be any kind of anything, at that small forward, now you got an interior of 1-2. Well, it's still perimeter to 1-2-3, but you get what I'm saying. You got McCollum, you got Dame. Now you got a Wang at that 3, this Mr. Thybulle, and you got Nurkic on the inside. Hey, man, I told you, man, the West is getting better. Now's the time. Almost sort of like when the Rockets won in 94, 95 when Jordan retired. Hey, man, Mike is gone. Oh, you better hurry up. Come on, let's get in the gym. We got to go get these so we can sit at the, on the couches at open court and talk Smizak. Still don't see why they ain't give Mark Price his credit. But anyway, at 26, the Cleveland Cavaliers from Houston, Brother Richard's boys, Harden and CP, they arguing now. They trying to figure out who's going to do the next State Farm commercial. Nick Claxton.
I think somebody told you that wasn't going to work. Okay.
Yeah. Nick Claxton, the center from Georgia. This is interesting. This is very interesting because Kobe Altman, I'm not saying he got some big shoes to fill, with David Griffin not being here, but you on the clock. You on the clock. You got to make it at least watchable. And I'm pulling for them this go around, man. I do like Colin Sexton, but I did say I doubt if it happened, but somehow, some way, the Cavs can end up with a Ja Morant. Man, Colin, I'll holler at you. You my dude, but I'll holler at you. But as it stands, with everything being what it is, you get you a DeAndre Hunter and you get you a Nick Claxton. Watch out. Any naysayers to this one? Oh, okay.
Who's coaching the squad?
Oh, boy. Yeah, I shouldn't have said. I shouldn't even asked you if you wanted to say anything.
Well, you asked if was there any critique. I said who's coaching the squad.
Oh, my goodness. I don't know. I sent my resume down there the other day, so we'll see. I ain't heard nothing back yet.
Okay, that's my.
Yeah. Yeah. Larry Drew is the coach. Doggone it. Oh, you know who I'd like to see over there? Mark Jackson. Huh? What you think, Brother Rich? You like that?
I agree with that.
Yeah,
I agree with that.
Yeah, I like Mark Jackson, but I don't know if he'll come to Cleveland. It'll get chilly here, and then all these orange barrels, that's a deterrent in and of itself. At 27, the Brooklyn Nets from the Denver Nuggets, Luka Doncic Samijakic, power forward from Croatia. I'm just playing. It's not Doncic, but Luka Samijakic or something or another from Croatia. Now, again, I don't know who this guy is. I don't have the ins and outs on all of the international players, you know, like I did when Drazen and Manu and them type guys was in the league. You know what I mean? Drazen, rest his soul, man. Drazen was an assassin. He put your eye out. You know what I mean? Don't be sitting behind the basket. You know, a lot of folks wearing them eye patches and looking like Pirates of the Caribbean because he put your eye out. But anyway, when I talk about Drazen. Do you know who this guy is, Double J?
Yeah, he's a young kid. He's got a decent ceiling, but there's a reason he's at the bottom of the first round. He hasn't really shown that much explosiveness. But again, that's why it's the draft, man. This is the one that you're really rolling the dice on.
So it could be conceivable that he might end up maybe early second round. You think he could drop?
Oh yeah, especially with some of the moves.
There
again,
you go.
I'm telling you, once that first one goes, and then you see Wiggins off next, that shakes up your draft board really quick. And at that point, your needs change very quickly.
Okay. Well, right quick, I'm gonna just say this about my man DeAndre Hunter. Even Bleacher Report says he's more NBA ready than any of the other candidates to get drafted. Yeah. At 28, Double J, you're going to like this one. The Golden State Warriors are projected to pick Carson Edwards, the point guard from Purdue. You want me to give you a clap? You want me to give you a bell? What you want me to give you? No?
Definitely a clap.
Okay, yeah.
I would love this. Other than him going to the Pistons, where I'd be able to see him a few times a year, this is the next best thing because I would see him a lot on the television.
Why? Go ahead.
Again, you got to remember who his AAU teammate was. It was De'Aaron Fox, for those who don't know. The guy shoots almost 40% from beyond the arc. That, of course, fits very well with Steph and Clay. He's better defensively than Bell is, and he really is that sixth man that they're looking for because, again, the only thing that comes into question is his ball distribution because he is a shoot first, but he is a person that if you would have plugged him in this last finals, one of the things that you honed in on is you wanted someone that could flash and drive into that box and one, and Carson Edwards would have done that.
Yeah, no, I mean, he did. He put on a show at Purdue. He is. I like him, too, as a point guard. He's a natural point guard as well. But you know what I like to see from more of these point guards in the NBA? They don't have to do it all of the time because I get it. The game is predicated now on who can, chicks digging the long ball, so to speak. But I'd like to see a few more point guards or do a few more times, rather. Have a little post up to their game. Turn your back, rather, to the basket, so to speak. That way, defenders keep him guessing on which way you're going left or you're going right. If you turn your back, you don't know which way you go until you really already started it. Whereas, if you got the ball and you're facing the guy, you can kind of, pick up the guy, flinch a little bit. whether he going left or right. And you can kind of beat him to the spot, so to speak. You know, that's why a lot of these guys just run into traffic. You know what I mean? But anyway, who am I? Don't know nothing about basketball. Yeah, I like Carson Edwards, too. I do. What about you, Brother Rich? Do you like Carson Edwards?
I do.
Okay, that's
I
it.
absolutely do.
That's it. Me and Brother Richard done agreed 3 times on the show. That's it. I'm turning the power off. That's a rarity. I mean, it's like seeing Bigfoot.
Yeah,
or
but we disagreed. We disagreed 13 times.
Oh, Double J. Oh, oh my gosh. You know what? Yeah, that's it. I'm calling Mike and Mike. I'm getting 2 new hosts. At 29, the San Antonio Spurs from the Toronto Raptors, your 2019 NBA champions, I might add. And I know I'm getting ready to butcher this, and it's not intentional. KZ Okpala, Okpala, power forward from Stanford. Now, I know Stanford is good for brain surgeons and neurosurgery and things of that nature, but I didn't know they were. Who's the last NBA caliber player to come out of Stanford? Anybody?
Brooke Lopez, Robin Lopez.
I was being cynical, facetious. No, cynical. Yeah, it was cynicism. Yeah, okay. Brooke Lopez. Yeah, got you. The guy who just now started coming on, because prior to that, maybe, and he did well with the Bucks. I'm not gonna lie.
That's rude.
He prior to his last 5 minutes, he was this close to being considered a bust. Or you disagree? Oh my!
He did all right in Brooklyn.
Yeah. All right. It sounded like he was going to say almost, because that's what that sounded like. And you know, almost only counted hand grenades and horseshoes. Anywho, Brother Rich, do you know this guy? No, I don't either.
No at all.
Yeah, I don't. And no offense to Stanford. You know, Andrew Luck. You know, that guy who get all the credit for, you know, leading the NFL in comebacks over the last 25 years. But no attention is paid to the fact that he the reason why they had to come back in the first place. I'm sorry. Didn't mean to do that. My bad, Andrew Luck. At 30, in our last selection in the first round, and I'm really going to butcher this name. Never heard of this guy. I'm going to pronounce it first, and then I'll spell it for you, okay? Mifuando Kabengele, center from Florida State. Now, let me spell that for you. Mfiondukabengle. Like Bison Daily.
Did I buy a vowel?
Yeah. I was. No, Pat Sajak. No, you cannot buy a vowel. But I'll take butchering names for 400, Alex, because I did a great job with that. So at the end of the day, there it is. There's our mock wrap up, courtesy of Bleacher Report, of course. Now, not only do I look forward to the draft this Thursday again, 7 p.m. Eastern time, but I'm looking forward to next season, too. I want to see how Brother Richard's Lakers going to do with 10 speed and brown shoe. Y'all don't know who that is?
You mean Summer League?
No, I'm not concerned. I'm not interested in the Summer League. Summer League is like AAU, man. It's a showcase. And I mean a showcase in the sense, you know, I would try to watch the Summer League. It's painful, to tell you the truth. The gym is too small, if you ask me, but maybe not. Maybe it just look that way because I'm watching it on TV. But you know them guys, man. You know it's not. You know everybody's there watching, and it's like the NFL Combine. You know, it's a lot of attention paid to it, but I just don't. I guess they call it the Summer League. I don't even know if they crown a champion, whoever wins it all or whatever. You know, I take them boys of Dunbar, them Muggsy Bogues boys of Dunbars over a lot of these Summer League teams right now. But then that's just me talking. So yeah, Summer League, I guess. And you see how much I give a rats because I hadn't even thought of that, to tell you the truth. I'm looking forward to next season when they really do matter. All 82, even though a lot of these guys don't want to play 82 no more, you know, because I don't know what they're doing, but, you know, they want more but want to do less. So, yeah, there's your 30. Any last thoughts, gentlemen, going into the draft or when the draft comes up this Thursday? What are you looking for most? Brother Richard, we already know. I'm not even asking you guys. I already know you. Zion, I got you. Double J?
I want to see what direction New Orleans goes because, again, they have their pick of the litter more than Boston does, despite presently Boston possessing more picks than them. But if it would blow my mind and it would make for boring TV if they select someone at 4.
Really? All right. Well, Brother Richard, we might have to roll with Double J on this one, man, because he don't usually. I mean, we've been rolling for 25 hours here, and that's all he been consistent with that, man. So we might have to Double J saying it's going to be a shakeup at 4. We might have to put our chips in on that. You think?
Follow.
Well, let's see what happens with it.
2 moves in the top 10.
Say that again.
2 moves in the top 10. I'm telling you.
Say that again, Double J.
You're going to see Wiggins. Yeah, you're going to see 2 moves within the top 10. Again, one's going to be reactionary for Minnesota, but it'll be they may swap picks with the Bulls as well. So it'll be very interesting to see whether it be Minnesota or whether it be Atlanta that gets the number 4 pick. Nevertheless, it'll be an incredible evening. I'm telling you, this is one that you want to DVR, or you certainly want to stay, tuned in and have all your devices charged and logged into all your platforms.
Interesting. Well, Double J done gave us the last word for the day. And on that note, it's been fun, but we got to run. We appreciate y'all for listening. Don't forget to check us out right here on the Spreaker.com network. You go to the search box and you type in the Shot Report. Or you can check us out on Facebook, Twitter, iTunes, and, of course, via email, theshotreport365@gmail.com. And if that don't work, Google it. I'd like to add right quick, we are having difficulty with our Google Play, something about the Spreaker and Google Play not syncing up. We are working to get that fixed. And if you'd like to follow us on Spreaker or follow the podcast or catch any of our past episodes, you can go to, if you're an Android user, you can go to the Google Play Store. You download the Spreaker Podcast Radio app, install it and whatnot. And then when you go in there, you type in that, of course, the search box, and you'll see the Shot Report. You type the Shot Report in, and when that pops up, you just hit it's like a little button on our thumbnail there, and you can, follow the show from us. And you'll get notifications, when we're doing the next show and things of that nature. If you're an iPhone user, you go to the App Store. Right? Yeah, the App Store. I don't have an iPhone. And I'd like to say for my guest, Brother Rich, NYC, a.k.a. Rucker Park, Joey James, a.k.a. Double J, and all those who follow us on social media, we say thank you for your support. I'm Barbershop Jay, and you've been listening to the Shot Report. And remember, the next time y'all want to know what's really going on, man, come to the shop. Walk-ins are always welcome. Holla.